Hold on, man. Before we start these intros, let me make sure everything's on. Yo, 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 we are here. We are live. I'm back in effect, nigga. Yo, we here. We live trading. Let's, we gotta do our intro, man. What's good with it? I just wake and bake, so, that's why I sound like that a little bit, man. It's the morning time.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are tonight's entertainment.
Let's go, man. Let's go, man. It's time to start. Come on, man. It's time to start this shit, man. Alright, we here. We live. Market is about to open up in a few minutes. Yo. Alright. Market's gonna open up in a few. Let's get our and make sure our audio is on point. Hold on. Mic check 1 2. Mic check. Mic check 1 2. Mic check. Alright, yeah, we good.
Oh, and the other thing with Robin.
All right.
Goes after these prediction sports markets.
Oh man, okay. We are here, man.
The door, so there's a lot of risk there. I'm gonna do my worst tangent of the week.
Let's hear it.
But only because
let's look at.
And I just thought of this.
Yeah, even looking at this chart, SPY on the SPX on the daily looks.
Yeah.
I think it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I think the chart might want to reach.
I swear to God, Dennis, don't doubt me on this one. You doubt me on this one. I'm crossing that bridge.
Mr. Clean was buddies with your dad.
All right, let me go get my tea.
You can tell, man.
Mr. Clean was buddies with your dad.
Yes, Mr. Clean was in my
He traded stocks with Lisa Sue, and Mr. Clean was buddies with his
Oh, you bring that. Oh, I'm telling you. I'm gonna
your
prove
dreams
you
with
wrong.
reality.
All right, you two knuckleheads.
I'm gonna prove you wrong, and then when I prove you wrong, I'm retired. That'll be.
But the one day you prove me wrong, you're gonna retire.
Yep.
All right, that's a wrap, folks. If you want the conversation to continue, come over to StockTraderNetwork.com. Sign up for your free trial. Somebody was saying we don't have a free trial. We've had a free trial the whole time. 7-day free trial. You come on, PMPSTN, 10% discount code. We're trying to compile winners and losers for AI. We're adjusting our portfolios, and again, long term and short term, when you have disruptions happening to your portfolio, you got to be doing adjusting here. And right now, cleaning out the stuff that I feel like AI is going to disrupt. That is what I'm doing in my long term portfolio.
Scott Brown at 9:45 in the STN room, a special guest joining us. Our friend Chris Bretcher at 11 a.m. I'll be hanging out with Chris this morning. And then Triple D.
CC Legator, don't forget CC.
CC is on a little vacation right now.
Oh, we're missing CC.
Give the guy a break. Come on.
Yeah, CC, you get a day off, CC. Give me a day off.
Dennis, though, you forgot one of the most exciting things that's happening this afternoon in STN, though. One of your favorite times of the year. We have an extended weekend trade on the table here.
Oh gosh, might be short than a weekend. Might actually go short than a weekend. Ooh.
That was a good tease, Triple D.
Yeah.
All right, folks.
Anyways,
we're gonna jump
enjoy
over.
your long weekend, folks. It's gonna be fun, and we'll be back with your PMP Tuesday morning.
AI here, and this is helpful. Moolec is announcing that its engineered safflower crop in the U.S. has successfully produced a very high level of gamma linoleic acid, or GLA, at full commercial scale. And this helps prove that technology works in real-world farming and processing and strengthens its position in the nutrient and supplements market.
And how does
That's why that was a positive.
So that kind of makes a lot of sense now about how Bioceres is tied to this.
Exactly. So shout out to the AI there, because I don't know if I would have been able to make that connection that quickly without doing some more reading. Shout out to you for looking into that too.
We got to bring this up to our friend in the happy hour.
Yeah, no question. No question.
Super interesting.
Yeah, we might. Yeah, we'll do that. I might even text him today. We'll see if there's an opportunity that this leads to. Okay, really good breakdown there, 13. Starting off with a bang here. I'll take that for sure. Okay, next here. This is a company we're both familiar with. In fact, my keyboard is made by this company. This is Corsair Gaming. Ticker is CRSR here. Corsair Gaming shares are trading higher after the company reported better than expected Q4 financial results. Now, first of all, 650 is very, very clearly a spot here. This is the impulse move that stopped it. It traded back up here during the pre-market, and it was kind of rejected. But here's the other thing that I want to mention. The stock has been extremely beaten down. And so maybe, especially with this being a customer-facing company here, or connected to the customer, perhaps this is the time when it turns around. Now, you'll notice that this pop here, where it stopped us last night and stopped us again here today, this was a former support level. And this is now going to be resistance. So we're definitely going to
Yo, mic check 1 2, mic check 1 2.
Probably going to need to happen on volume. We'll see if we get through it. 13, I'm sure you've got some other stuff here. It looks like there's a trend line on here, but I'll wait for you to cover that. Let me go ahead and actually give you the results. 43-cent EPS beat the 27-cent estimate. Nice healthy beat there. And sales of $436.85 million beat the $421.99 million. Corsair Gaming, could this have been from the memory increase? Any remaining stock or remaining products that they have? Maybe they saw an outsized bump?
I don't know how tied to the memory this would be. I know that there's going to be a significant number of semiconductors used in their products, but not necessarily to the scale that you would see in whole rigs, towers, and server racks. So I don't necessarily think that that's that we're seeing this increase. That you're looking at an increase in the sales because of the
because the way I'm thinking about, I have Corsair memory in my computer, and so the way
their memory, okay, yeah.
So the way I'm thinking about this 13 is that they probably had product left over, and as the prices continued to move higher, they paid the same amount for those products. So they're selling them at higher revenue. That would increase margins. That would increase profit. I'm just wondering. I don't actually know. Let me see. Let me see if AI can help us with this.
Maybe I think you could be right about that. I just when I look at Corsair, I think more of their peripherals. So the mouses, keyboards, headsets. That's the stuff that I'm actually going to be getting later on to replace my my Razer stuff, which is crap now. But I think you could be right, because when they guided lower than what the estimates were. So maybe they have inventory that they've been trying to sell through. And when you look at the beat that this company had on their earnings, the EPS is much higher than the estimates. And taking those two things into context, it might be like a one-time thing to make your point about the memory. But they, it's still trading higher, and they just had some really good earnings results, and it looks like they're on a much more sustainable path to profitability, because they've been kind of losing money up until I think last year. So as far as the chart goes,
hang on, I've got results.
Oh shit! All right,
yes.
we here, man.
The report and related earnings commentary explicitly linked Corsair's stronger Q4 and full year 25 results to higher RAM prices and demand for memory products. More specifically, this is how it factored into the report. The press release highlights that gaming components and systems growth was spurred by demand for memory. End quote.
People are trying to build before they
See,
get
Corsair Gaming? Okay.
Grew about 24% year over year. Management went on to state that memory was a major contributor to the Q4 margins lift because DRAM prices went up substantially from October to December, creating favorable inventory margins as Corsair sold stock purchased at lower costs in a rising price environment. That is exactly what I said.
You completely nailed it.
Okay, sick.
Completely nailed it. So I guess that's my question though, is about their guidance. Do they have inventory still, or is this just a one-time thing?
And I don't think they released that. Let me actually ask the follow-up question: do they still have inventory? I don't.
When you look at their guidance and see how it's lower, it kind of makes me think, well, maybe they don't have that high, margin memory anymore.
And so Acorns, you're kind of wondering like exactly where my brain is going. Like, do you think this is going to come back in? Was this a one-time thing? Now, if they've run out of inventory, yes, management says their memory inventory position is still strong and should support demand well into 2026. Okay. Right there, I think if this thing can break 650, you might have something on your hands here.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Looking at the daily chart on my broker here, we have a 65-day EMA at 595, so we're clearly past that. The next resistance area we might get to, if we can climb up there, is 7, and then there's a bit of a gap fill on the way up to 725, where we have the 200-day EMA, which is going to probably provide some even stiffer resistance. So that might be where we end up going here today. I'm not going to speculate on what the price action is going to look like, but 7 and 725 certainly stand out from here.
Okay, really good stuff there. Corsair, boy, this movers, you're right, this was so much better than it was the last couple of days.
Oh, and we're not done.
Let's go. I love that. I absolutely love that. Next year is TPH. TriPoint Homes is trading higher. The company
okay, we here, man.
That earlier, no trade here.
But I think it's very, very interesting that a forestry company, a wood company, would be acquiring this, and it kind of makes me think, well, what's the angle here? Are they just trying to also kind of vertically integrate everything from the tree to turnkey? You know what I'm saying? Like, are they trying to get into the home building business and trying to cut out the middlemen between going from lumberjacking and collecting all the lumber to building the homes? This seems like it's going to streamline a lot of things for the company. So I'm just kind of wondering if this is something we're going to end up seeing more of, like some of these home builders get picked up by other supply chain companies in the industry. Does that kind of make sense of what I'm
saying? Yeah, it
here?
Absolutely does. This is something that we have been talking about. They're trying to do anything they can to try and either build more or lower the cost, get people in. So yeah, that we'll see. That makes a lot of sense. I wonder if this does lead to other. Maybe there's other stocks that we could look at. I don't know offhand.
So TriPoint Homes, they're a premium home builder. We could look at DR Horton, even though I don't think they're going to be bought out. There's also Toll Brothers and
Pulte. I don't think it's going to get bought up.
I would just start looking at those home builders, and I don't know what TriPoint was really doing before today. Was it kind of sinking? It was going sideways. Not too bad. They looked like they were doing okay. So maybe it could be literally any company. This company, TriPoint, was doing great actually, looking at their financials. It could be any home builder. We could look at all of them.
Okay, Acorns here saying, are you saying TPH is done? What we're saying is that it's getting acquired, and there's not going to be much action on this here today.
Yeah, exactly what we're saying. This is done. We're just kind of talking a little speculation about what this acquisition could be about.
Okay, and someone asked earlier if this stream also goes to X. Yes, we stream on YouTube, X, and Twitch. You can join us any way that you'd like. YouTube seems to be the main one, although we do get a lot of viewers from X. All right, next one here is IMUX. This is Immunic. We've traded this a whole bunch of times in the past. Immunic shares are trading higher. The company reported the pricing of a $400 million private placement. The stock traded up to about 139, your pre-market high. It did so on some pretty good volume. It's hugging the VWAP right now. We'll see if that volume really kind of comes in or if it expands at all. Quick peek at the short interest on this name, 5.55% with 4.5 days to cover. So not terribly high short interest, but there's some. So factor it in. On average, stock trades 1.6 million shares. Today it's traded 24.69 million shares, and the float on this was 118.5 million. 13, what do you think here on IMUX? And if you don't mind, I'm actually going to step away for just 1 sec, and I will be right back.
Sounds good. So, yeah, looking at their balance sheet, they clearly needed to raise the capital because they lose $25 million every quarter, and they don't have any revenue. So, what do you know? A clear biotech. So that's good news that they got the financing out of the way, so we don't have to worry or kind of question whether or not they're going to need to raise capital or issue make an offering or issue more shares. That's out of the way. So now we have, and that 400 million, by the way, this was an subscribed private placement. So there's enthusiasm for this, and this is meant to fund phase 3 of their MS trial. So obviously they're going to be going through a lot of capital expenditure as these clinical trials, as they go on, can become more and more expensive. Looking at the chart here,
all right, let me make sure
had a
these
pop
are
up
on
to 134,
point.
came back in and have gone sideways since. And I would say that as long as we hold this VWAP here, which I have at 106, we should be able to try and push back up towards 115, which is where I currently see the resistance. If we can clear that, then maybe we go back up towards the 134. What's the float?
There we go. Now I got my trading. What's this?
So that kind of makes me a little bit concerned about just how high we're going to go with this out of the open. Lots of times when it comes to heavier floats, so they do tend to give some kind of movement early on, but as volume goes away, these things leak a lot. So that's kind of what I'm expecting here within IMUX. It's great that they've got this cash without having to dilute their shares, but that is a heavy float nonetheless, and this is going to be cash going towards a massive clinical trial.
Okay. All right, really good breakdown there on IMUX. We'll see what that has in store for us. I noticed that this stock is kind of making a move recently here. This is VTAC. It's Catheter Precision. Let's see if there's a news catalyst here. Catheter Precision secures $36.5 million in strategic institutional financing to accelerate growth. That's notable because the market cap in this company is $2.2 million. Float on this is $1.65 million.
I'm gonna give me a heart for real,
shares. It's done just over 600,000 here today.
No lie.
So we got short interest wise, 1.22% with 1 day to cover, so not really a whole lot in there. 13, I know this just started moving. You might not have anything on this, but does anything jump off the chart for you?
Not necessarily off the chart. I found the news to be more interesting because a week ago yesterday, there was an announcement that this company would be featured in live cases at Scripps Structural Heart Intervention and Imaging 2026 conference occurring from February 11th to 13th. That's today. I think that's where they got. That's where they announced or they provided information on the $36.5 million strategic institutional financing. So I thought that was interesting that we had a bit of a heads up, and I wanted to point that out because we are given these little breadcrumbs every now and then, especially with these biotechs and some of these other tech companies, about presentation or some kind of announcement that they're going to have at a conference. So when you see these, it's probably a really good idea to mark these off on your calendar because here we have this mover now going on that exact, moving off news presented at that exact conference. So they don't need cash anymore because when I looked at their balance sheet and their income statement, they certainly needed it. But with 1.65 million shares in the float, this should, provide some good movement. And maybe not so much in the pre-market right now, but we'll see what happens once we open here in about 7 minutes. If we do get some upside here, I'm thinking that we're probably going to run into an area at about 175. That could, be a little bit tough, and there's a lot of consolidation, from basically the entirety of this month, right in this area from about 175 to 210. So we'll have to see what we end up getting there. But that's the news with VTech, and I think we just need to kind of wait and see what happens out of the gate with this one.
Okay, really good stuff there. I actually thought we might not have much on that yet, but you outdid yourself again, 13. You
Well, I
had
appreciate
it doing that.
But that's all I've got for now.
Okay, well, really quickly, someone asked about Rivian earlier, so we might as well take a look at this. Rivian, of course, reported earnings. Rivian automotive shares are trading higher after the company reported better than expected Q4 financial results. Also, Deutsche Bank upgraded the stock from hold to buy and raised the price target from 16 to 23. So not only are you getting the good earnings print, but you're getting a little bit more of a follow through here on Rivian. I would imagine 18 would be a important level. Let's see if that's right. Yeah, so yes. So right up here, yes, right up here, 18. We have dealt with this level before. Rivian actually punched through this level once before retrading back down to the downside. So we'll see here on Rivian, quick peek at the short interest, still elevated. 13.71% of the float shorted with 6.36 days to cover. Maybe some squeeze action here. Stock's up 25% on the back of that earnings and that upgrade. You have any thoughts here on Rivian, 13?
I'm giving it the Homelander grimace.
The Homelander grimace. Okay.
You know the one I put in there. That's a new indicator, by the way. I'll get to that later, though. Rivian, I have a hard time with this one because of.
Yeah, that's always been my biggest gripe.
Yeah, this thing, I just can't get behind it. Just the amount of money it loses every quarter. I think what you're seeing is maybe more of a short squeeze. I mean, yeah, the earnings were better than expected, but when I look at the earnings and I see that, the result was their EPS was a negative 54 cents versus a negative 68 cents, the applause is, wow, you didn't lose as much this time, in my mind. So I'm really not enthusiastic about this earnings report. I get the sense that this is more about the high short interest and kind of a little bit of a squeeze here. I don't know how high this is going to go. Let me look at the chart. Maybe I can
And really quickly, while you're looking at the chart, sounds like Izzy agrees with you here. Izzy's saying, Rivian, the R2 doesn't come out until 2027, so I have no idea why the big move. As you're out there, perhaps the short interest is playing into that.
So we have cleared a couple of EMAs. Maybe 18 is where we go up to. If I'm looking at a daily chart here, that was a resistance area back from November of last year. We struggled to get through that area until finally in December, in the middle of December, we blasted off and took us up to 2269, and we leaked the entire time since then. So here we are with another pop, and we're beyond some of these really significant moving averages, the 65 EMA and the 200 EMA. But when I look at $18, I'm thinking that might be the spot we go to, and then we'll have to see what happens there. I don't know if we're going to go a whole lot higher.
Okay, we've got 3 minutes here. JDZG, this was a mover yesterday. It's a mover again here today. I don't think there was anything new on this. No, nothing new on this. So just continuation, relative volume, as you often say, from yesterday. The coin long was the next ETF, frankly, on this list. But Bros also on this list. I wanted to get to this before we ran out of time here. Dutch Bros shares trading higher after the company reported better than expected Q4 financial results. This is up by nearly 17%. We are no stranger to seeing Dutch Bros make huge moves on a good piece of earnings. And Jay was out here with some intel earlier. Bros, ANET, Roku, and Rivian all were at the lower end of the channels. And you can see that right here on the screen. Anything good, and they got bought. And that is, we are seeing that across the board in all of those tickers there, Jay. And Bros is one of them. So we'll see here. 13, I'd like to know what you think on the chart. We basically popped up to a 59 handle. This is about midway through that recent range. I have the top of that up there at 65. Unsure if that's capable of being reached today. 11.39% of the float shorted with 2.13 days to cover. Average volume just shy of 4 million today. We're just shy of 1 million here in the pre-market. I suspect that we are going to trade above that. What do you think on Bros?
I think the Bros earnings report is probably one of the biggest lifelines that they possibly could have wished for, because this thing looks like it was about to fall through the 500-day SMA just before they had earnings. We were, we've been kind of tested at that area since October. We finally hit it, just recently, and yesterday we closed beneath it. So I think it's very fortunate that they had good earnings, but they also had some short interest. So a little bit of a squeeze. Not really the days to cover, but the short interest is there. So if this does, come back up, I mean, we're on the doorstep of the 200-day SMA. And I don't know what's going to happen up there. Maybe we do go through it. There could be a bit of a rally that this goes on, I would say. But I don't know that it's going to go a whole lot higher than this.
All right, man. We got less than a minute to market
that's if we can get
opens.
above the 200-day
Less
SMA.
than
So that's
seconds,
what I'd be
actually.
looking for. We get above the 200-day SMA, maybe there's a little bit of a run up to the 70s before we get into some really big resistance.
Okay, really good stuff. We are less than a minute till we open. I'm going to flip over to the main workspace. You guys did mention, I saw you mentioning Ondas here. Ondas at the top. Oh, we're open actually. How about that?
All right.
And so CR. CRSR, that thing just right out of the open, right through 650 here. I'm definitely not going to chase this. I did not buy in the pre-market, so I'll see if this comes back in here. Definitely not going to chase that green move, but as we outlined here, there might be some more upside ahead.
And that's a break of a trend line.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely
high versus pre-market high. That was a break of that. So depending on what happens here with this current candle, we likely want to see a back test of this trend line as support. Haven't seen a real big pullback yet on this candle. It almost did, but
RCT, GITS,
it looks like it's still trying to push up.
Yeah, I think at this point now, maybe it tries 7, but maybe waiting for a pullback on this probably the smart thing here. So, okay, good stuff there. CRSR, we talked about that in the pre-market that ran out of the gate. Let's check in on Meridian as well. I clicked on it. What happened?
That's
I'd rather
down
reshort
into
this.
The 65 EMA. It got support from that earlier this morning.
I want to reshort this right here.
Just trying to recapture PVR.
Okay, Reddit, this is trading higher here.
310.95.
This was on our movers list. This is actually above the VWAP here. Oh no, I got this stupid stuff here again. Let me see if I can get rid of this.
Yeah, Corsair's still trying to push higher. Just slightly, I think it made a slightly higher print just now at 693. Starting to come back in some more.
Okay, now we have this trend line here, 654, so it's right by that breakout spot.
This could be a potential buy or short entry.
Actually make for an outright
If it's a buy, nice little
also,
quick dead
one more thing
trade,
here,
short
talking
entry,
about
head
Ondas,
lower.
whenever I had mentioned it, you guys mentioned it too. We did have some news here, and this actually looks pretty good. So Ondas here secures a new multi-million-dollar European order for the Iron Drone Raider to protect civil infrastructure following successful deployment at a major international airport. This is exactly what we were talking about. We talked about the El Paso incident on Happy Hour. I said that this actually might be a positive for Ondas because they're one of the leaders there in anti-drone tech, and it looks like that's exactly what we're getting here. So good news there. Ondas traded up. It's pulling a little bit off of that. We see this action all the time, but that's what's going on there.
So there we go. Corsair. This is coming up to the $7 area where I thought we might see some resistance. There's a big seller in the way. We pushed past him. That 725 area is where the 200-day EMA is. I think that's where we might find some more resistance if we can get past the $7 zone.
And it's actually up
Sometime
at
I'll go.
7
See, I feel
right
like it might
now.
want to.
I do see that seller. There you go, and through now, 13. Through on Corsair. Bang.
709. Still some. Okay, so now I'm seeing some size appear at 725.
Oh, wow.
Expecting.
Ooh, that just is ripping out the gate. I'm not going to chase this though.
We're still climbing.
Yeah, I'm still climbing, but this is not what I buy. I gotta be okay with missing plays sometimes. That's the thing.
This thing's got a lot of them.
I gotta be upset. I gotta be okay with missing that. It's
So
cool.
this is what I was the most worried about. I certainly don't want to chase with a bigger position. The scalping and momentum move up, not the same as trying to swing it throughout the day. Okay, we're right at the 725 here. I'm almost wondering if we get this pullback.
And we did get a little bit higher, went to 730. Now we're starting to pull a little bit. Let's see what
Nice.
happens.
Here it is.
If we go to 790.
All right, so far no trades right now. We are just watching.
NCI. battery back.
CCHH
I love how just
BBAI, man, this
see that
is
the power went out.
just
That's
looking
absolutely
terribly
awesome.
ugly right now. I'm not gonna lie.
Live.
Lulek is holding
MNTN
Yeah, this is
test.
not looking good for BBAI at all.
Yep.
Rich Tech,
That
shit.
printer restarted. Yeah, I know.
What to say about Rich
So,
Tech?
you know, just the dip somewhere.
Okay, Rivian, we talked about 18 here.
UHG.
Looks like Rivian
What
stopped
else?
just shy of that. We'll see if we have the strength to actually test 18, maybe
APLD. Not,
even
oh yeah,
go
where's
through it.
APLD?
VVPR.
Oh my
I'll check
god.
back in on Corsair here in a little bit.
Oh,
IM
that looks
UX, this is
nasty.
actually
You're
back
checking
in
off the
view.
20
I would say
EMA
before it's
and
at 109 area.
below V
This
rap
is
on the
one that we
daily.
had talked about earlier.
That's not
Looks like
good.
this is giving back some of its pop, but trying to hold 150, which we identified as a key level that was a horizontal line. That goes
That's
back
not
a
good.
ways, if we recall correctly.
Rejection,
Lastly, this is
then
one of our
rejection
big
right
winners
here.
from yesterday. This might be trying to trade up and test 18.
LITS.
Someone actually asked about
And
Wendy's.
then double
Looks
top
like
right
Wendy's
here.
reported earnings dropped and is now
FNTN.
gone red to green and is higher by 5% here. I wasn't prepared on that one at all.
It's crazy resistance right here too. Look, resistance right here.
I think this may not have a whole lot. We could see the highs from yesterday, but I don't know if it's going to be a whole lot more.
HPK.
Buffalo
HPK.
Electrical says the Hot Pocket is ready. Try the Hot Pockets. They're delicious.
Major resistance right there.
Okay. Anyway, what else are you guys looking at out there? I know we had kind of a nice move
Most
here.
likely
Looks
probably
like-
want to back test this.
Well,
50 EMA if this don't hold.
Yeah. Okay, so this is
If $35 don't hold.
MSTR trading up. Bitcoin, by the way, 67,500.
XAIR.
And actually, the VIX curling up
Yeah,
here a
things
little
is
bit. We
in-
haven't given everything back from the CPI, but maybe that's still on deck. VIX curling at 2130.
KPTS. ANWL.
Goldman
AGUR.
Sachs traded down. Remember, Mark was looking at some of the financials there. Interesting to see if we get a move in that. And Corsair is doing its absolute best to hold on to 7. Don't know if we're going to get the pullback that we're waiting for, 13.
SHPH.
Well, let's see. Let me look here. This chart.
You guys were saying bros.
Oh my god, there goes Google.
Bros chart.
WAKEY.
Oh man, this retraced about half of
NCI.
its pop from the earnings.
NCI.
It's basically back down to the highs from yesterday. Wow.
Rose, new lows.
NCYH.
MGRT.
That's good.
CRS.
Something told me to wait for Google yesterday for the gap down. Something told me, bruh.
I have it at 676, so if that provides some support, we might be getting a
NCTI.
but
Thing is, I don't want to chase around. I want to wait for it like it bounce a little bit or bounce up here.
The next big resistance area was.
And we'll
So
see.
far, it looks like it's
Maybe at the point of this candle right here too. 308.
go next.
LHAI.
Even if it
X-Sniper
retests
here
this
is saying, how
candle.
was Corsair missed on the memory chip play? So when I was talking about that stuff earlier, I was thinking about that X-Sniper, and I think it's largely because they don't just make memory. SanDisk, Western Digital, Micron, a
CNVS.
lot of that stuff is mostly memory. Corsair, as 13 outlined, does a ton of peripherals in addition to some of the memory components.
MPLT.
However, they did cite, and I think that this earnings report was the first time that they cited that memory played a huge role in their earnings.
Sear.
And just so you know, Corsair doesn't make their own chips. They
Yeah,
actually
Ryan's
have-
hitting the same. You guys are exactly right. Keep going.
Yeah, they have it manufactured by Hynix, Samsung, and Micron, the ones that are going.
And so,
MLDC.
to also tie that back to the initial question, X-Sniper,
OM.
folks went to the builders first.
Yes.
Now we're hearing from the company, yeah, we actually
Detail.
did do better because of this,
ORKT.
but the pure
DLT.
plays were the ones that we were looking at before. That's why. Good
UNC.
stuff, Ryan. Good to see you too, Ryan.
Errors.
Yeah, so I'm trying to think of other memory brands out there.
CRBP.
Corsair, I
NTVA.
think Kingston's another one. I can't think of all of them right
OLTVA.
now.
UNCY. MPLT. NPC.
I
NPC.
think I had Corsair as well. Anyway, so
Doesn't
Yeah.
Asus make memory chips too? I
BIA.
know they make boards.
I don't. Yeah, they
I know
make boards. They
GPUs.
make boards, routers. They make.
EMAT.
They do a lot. I don't remember if they make memory or not.
So this is interesting. This is a good mention here. So here are the memory pure plays, by the way. Here's SanDisk. This is down 5%. This continues to pull back.
Yeah, let's be
Here's
patient
Western
right
Digital,
now. There's no
down
need to rush.
4.5%. And here's Micron, down 3.8%. So interestingly enough, Corsair, of all of these plays connected to the memery, clearly the outperformer on the back of those earnings.
CRBY.
They just put the RGB. Actually, I think that's the one I have, right?
EIKN.
G-Skill is actually the one that I have.
Feed.
Rivian
ANL.
still getting support from the 65 EMA, but
DHX.
also still beneath the VWAP.
THT.
Vastly trying to hold above its VWAP. It
ANL.
needs some volume.
SUNT.
IMUX, this one still kind of going sideways. Not a whole lot
SUNX
happening
live.
here yet. MULEC, this is still headed lower.
A.
I think this comes down to the 65 EMA where
JDX.
find support somewhere between the
SKYH.
735 and 8 area.
MPLT. Heads.
I think that's where we see some support coming up here if we can't hold this, this 885 area.
Task.
Oh, what's Rich Tech doing?
So really quickly, you guys were asking about
Okay, he's
some
trying
of
to
the
bounce,
other
I guess.
memory.
It did bounce off of here. I'll be surprised if it really start bouncing off here and goes.
So
We'll
I went to
see.
the chart, or I went to the main page here because I actually don't know
USI
who
is
the parent
just-
company is
we
for
just
this.
do
I
it right
apologize
now.
for not knowing that right off the top of my head. And I went to go look for it on the page, and look what I see at the bottom here. DRAM prices are experiencing significant industry-wide volatility.
I guess we'll be watching the AI trades today, the Holly
They're
trades.
basically saying on their website
NCI.
here, purchasers should be mindful of the pricing before purchasing.
EMATX.
And so, to me, it almost. Does anyone know? I'll ask AI here. Let me go back to Pro here. Let me ask AI. Who's the parent company of G-Skill? Let me do that here real quick. 13.
VVKR.
Data vault up
IDN.
10% says Supric.
SHPH.
They didn't put the RGB lights. As long as they have RGB lights, it's going to be a good number, right?
I don't know what to tell you, man. My entire setup is an RGB setup. I think it looks cool. The keyboard's RGB, the map, the mouse, the mixer.
And Asus has a really interesting way of controlling all the different RGB stuff in your computer. If only it would work.
Oh, so how about G-Skill does not have a separate parent company. It is itself an
ANDG.
independent private company formerly known as G-Skill International Enterprise, and it is headquartered in
HCTI.
Taipei, Taiwan.
EIKN.
Okay,
ATOS.
that's the end of that chapter. Anyway, good stuff there.
DVPR.
Asking AI while you're taking all of the RAM is ironic. Daniel, yes,
SUNS,
there's another
SUNS.
another hilarious comment here today.
VVPR.
Keep an eye on Corsair. It's got support from the
HADX.
VWAP right now.
Woo!
More
There
volume
goes
pushing
RGTI.
through, the 7.
I can't wait till quantum market comes back in full force, bro. I can't wait. Right now, oh man, imagine if I just shorted this right there off that 50 EMA. Oh man, those puts would have been outstanding, bro.
They're doing a great job.
Holding puts for the whole month. Oh my
He's like,
god.
I'm not gonna do that.
One day I hope to get this trade in the move, dog. I'm not that good of a trader yet. I need to get these type of massive trading moves, dog. I want these moves.
For me, that I'm paying to do work for me. I like to talk to him. I offer him a drink. I like to talk to him. I like to not be just some like crabby bastard.
In about a week, this dropped about 37%. That's the move I want. That's a good chunk of that.
Okay.
Oh, there goes the Qs.
Daniel, by the way, that was a good comment. Props.
And look at Fastly now. This is what I was cautioning about.
I see it on the scanner.
VRME.
So there we
UPLD.
go with our relative volume. We didn't get a whole lot higher than yesterday's print. Actually, we didn't even get up to yesterday's print. I think we missed it by about 20 cents. Now we're coming back down to the open.
Matt here saying, me too, Ryan. Matt,
ONDW.
it just feels right, right?
SRGR.
Like, it just, whenever I meet people, it feels that way. It feels like
ANDR.
that's the right thing to do. And actually, it's benefited me. One of the plumbers that was redoing my bathroom, I didn't even think to ask him. He just decided, hey, you're a real tall guy. Why don't I raise the shower head for you?
IVF.
And I was like, that sounds like a great idea. And the first time I took a shower in there, I was like, how in the F did I not suggest this myself?
CNVS.
Because you're not a
Well, because I was being nice to him.
and you're not a
JAGU.
plumber.
And that's true.
CNVS.
It's another way of appreciating what they are doing. Indeed, Matt, you and I are totally aligned on that. I'm glad I'm not the only one. By the way, Corsair, good call there on that holding 17. This actually looks like this is going to try and move higher, 13.
ONED.
They're stacking some
CNVS.
sellers in front of 720, but I think there's just a little bit more volume to push through.
AMWL.
Test that 730.
Add an alert to the downside just in case it wants to get
I
there.
missed the ad on this, by the
CNVS.
way. I was a little bit more
CNVS.
conservative down towards the VWAP, so I have no position on
See, if I was about to put now, I would have got faked out. This is why I wait. I want to see where the market is gonna go, man.
All
CNBS.
right, you guys were also mentioning that the SPY was coming back in. It kept selling. So here's what the SPY
Yeah, that's
actually
why I
looks
don't
like.
want to
So
get chopped around.
I want you to
And
keep in mind, this is, I
Same
think,
thing
going to
with
be the
this
area
one, I
today.
think.
678 looks like it is kind of testing that. We'll see if it holds this. I had this at 678.83, so if you want to call it 679, I wouldn't even fight you on that. But this area, this pre-market low, this is what we want to hold.
SUNE.
Next ML, she's mentioning Mulek again. This is
MLEC, got it.
This is
Got it.
turned
DTI.
around. It's halted to the upside. It has recaptured.
AMWL.
Broker's chart.
Mine too.
So good turnaround there. We'll see what we end up getting out of the halt, which should be a little bit longer now.
CNBS.
I believe this is the second or third one.
MPAA.
This is the second halt, and remember, this was on the Charles Schwab restricted list. So if you were going to trade this, you would have to either call or open up the support chat to get that restriction removed. I'm not trading this, full disclosure.
The resistance I'm seeing right now, you're going to have...
damn, they don't fuck with your boy right now. What's going on?
Has some resistance all kind of through it right now, but there's some really tough resistance, I think, around 12.25. No closes in the pre-market above that in the 5-minute chart, so I think that's one spot I would be keeping an eye on to break out if we can get through this 11 consolidation.
Okay, good stuff. Now,
There it is. Imagine I was take that put now. That's why you be patient and wait. Derek, look at that reversal.
Bernhard, I am going to reuse this. I absolutely love this. Be nice to people on the way up. You will meet them on the way down. That is I'm screen grabbing this just to make sure I don't forget it or butcher it. That is awesome, Bernhard. Bonus points for you. Glass half full. Just be nice to people, folks. You have no idea what someone else is going through. I love this, Bernhard. That's great. Great. All right.
I'm enjoying today. This is, I'm glad that the volume is somewhat favorable, even though I have real reservations about what we're seeing in the
EVCS, CNBS, MTVA, SAYH.
How's BTC looking right now?
BTC is at the highs of the day, 67,800 on the futures. Does anyone like SPY 0 DTE calls today? Maybe 685 calls? Anyone interested in that?
This is pre-market high right here. Big 30. That's pre-market high. The report.
Yeah, I was gonna say is
once it break over that report, now we talking.
So here's the. Let me give you some more context to this. I kind of hinted at this before you got on, so let me tie it together here. Last week we saw the Bears won the week, right? Every day it seemed lower, and then Friday we had that rip your face off rally, and. I'm wondering, is there short covering into the weekend? Is that something that's going on? To totally see it. I actually asked Anne-Marie about that. She agreed with me, which made me feel real good. And the other thing here is we got this 3-day weekend here. Shorts had another winning week. Part of me is just wondering, now we have to see, I know you have some reservations about it, and that's fine, but part of me wonders if that headline print is enough for us to maybe even just trade back a little bit today. So I was looking at 685. I don't think we get back to 695 for context there, but maybe we do bounce a little bit here today. So far, so good. SPY's bouncing here. Hasn't taken out the top of the pre-market range, so I don't want to get too excited too early on. But I'm just thinking 0 DTE calls, that would be a very quick way to play this. The 685s are up 15 cents since I took a look at them, so they're moving.
The 5-minute chart looks like it wants to break.
If you look at the SPY daily, I think you'll notice that so far this year, every time that we've had a drop down beneath the 50-day SMA, we've had a quick recovery and snap and recapture the following day. What do you think is going to happen? Because we need to do it. Just look at a daily chart and you can see what I'm talking about. So we go down to 680. That's been a very important level. And we lose, and in the process of going down to 680, we lose the 50-day SMA. So look at so far this year. Every time we went underneath and closed under the 65 EMA on the daily.
Okay.
Very next day we recapture the 50-day SMA. That has to happen today.
Gotcha. Okay, sweet. low skills, might want to calm down and stop yelling.
DBGI.
We're a very positive group here. Jay says, bit late, Ryan. Yeah, and you're right on that. You probably should have bought like the pre-market low as it was holding. I'm with you on not chasing, especially not through the pre-market high. I think we want to see that fall first. Then also, Big Missy says, hey, Ryan and 13, I just love your stream. We love you. Be sure to like and subscribe, and if you would, turn on notifications. That would help too. Tint says, went to get coffee, missed the dip. Thankfully, you'll have another opportunity at some point.
FLD.
KCX, one we were looking at yesterday, that had a fall out of the gate down to just under $30, and it's rebounded.
MCRB,
Volume doesn't look the greatest,
ABTX.
but kind of curious to see what we end up getting here with this one. It's been a mover before, so just see what we end up getting here with this one. MULEC is open, by the way, and that is still trying to hold above the VWAP and the $10 area, which is kind of there.
MCR,
Trying to hold above 10.
TBCH, ELAB.
Not succeeding.
Okay. NBIS, this is getting mentioned here in the group.
Still watching, no trades yet. Look like this got rejected with potential double top right here on the 5 minute.
Okay, so I've got the 65 EMA.
Rejected off the previous pre-market high.
This, a push higher here, maybe this will go challenge 100, 107, 108, those recent highs.
And this is why we're keeping this on watch.
Jay brings up a company that I'm pretty sure we've looked at before on Happy Hour. This is in the same space that we've been talking about with components and optics. So this is very, very interesting.
NP.
Thank you, Jay.
This, I believe, Chris, if you're out there,
it might have been him.
I think it was him who mentioned this one.
QTTB.
I didn't ever buy or trade this one, unfortunately, though.
And I wonder when it was he mentioned it, because looking at it now, it's gone on a pretty nice run, as a lot of things have. Since,
MCRB.
Look at that fail.
Sideways price action here.
Fail. That's what I'm saying. Be patient.
Late last year.
And so I know next time if this breaks out again, I'll call it, okay, this might be actually a buy now. Or like right here.
Oh, right. What are these NVIDIA options doing here? It looks like we got some put sweeps there. NVIDIA is actually lower here, so that continues to sell. How's Apple doing? Apple's lower.
496.45. So let's add an alert.
Amazon is lower, but
596.45.
Oh, thanks, Avi. Skipping the on CNBC and focusing on Benzinga's the best move.
So now we have a range for the day. We have the pre-market right here.
But to be fair, I haven't really watched a lot today.
And
Maybe I missed it.
I'll give you a little context here, folks.
Now we have the range for the day. So if this starts to bounce again, we could probably play this range right here, maybe from here. Nice 10% move. That's probably the range for the day. Or if it breaks down, we could probably take a short here. Try to get a quick 20% on the day trade for puts.
LGL. I would not consider that turmoil. And Billy, good mention here. Coin getting warmed up. We had a dip down to the pre-market low and a hold. Do we have a break of the pre-market high? Let me know.
I'm gonna see with my.
No position on coin for me today. Billy, let me know. What, are you in that? Are you trying to trade that here today?
SHGI.
And
HUBC.
Ray, saying hello, Ray. Astus broke down beneath the 50-day moving average. This is going to be one. 13-0. We've looked at this one a lot.
All right, so far so good.
ASTS. Well, the 50-day was yesterday's news, frankly. We broke that yesterday. It looks to me like today's situations, it's trying to hold 82. That's the 100-day. So I would go further to say that if we snap this 100-day, I would not be surprised if maybe 69 is the next one, or maybe even 60 after that, which represents a 200-day. The last time we had a substantial pullback, we did break under the 100-day, still found some support there, but we inevitably broke it and then recaptured. So I think the 50-day is done, frankly. I think the real test here is going to be at 80.
So this does have some short interest, almost, it's over 19% of the float short, but the days to cover is kind of low, so not necessarily some of the parameters we're looking for here. There could be maybe a squeeze with this one. There's certainly support down around the $80 area. It got support yesterday. It looked like it's getting support there today. Now, I'll say this: if this turns around and tries to come back up towards the 50-day SMA, a recapture of that I think is going to have to be paramount. I get the sense that it's going to test that and maybe not get back over it. And if that's the case, then I think that we are going to go lower. The big issue I have with AST Space Mobile right now is a lot of the revenue that they've been talking about getting hasn't really started to show up yet. And I think that's going to have to be the big thing here. They need to start having that revenue show up. Because if it doesn't, then yeah, I think it's going lower.
Okay. And
JDZG.
put the short interest there on the screen for you if you don't have access to that. 13 was exactly right. By the way, Corsair did end up breaking higher. Did this without me, sad trombone, but Corsair now. We'll see if 750 is next. Alpha Trade says, what's the best short interest to look at for a big squeeze? So I've asked a lot of folks this, and there's a lot of varying opinions on this, and if anyone in the chat has their own opinion, I would love to hear it. But generally speaking, what 13, and I think 13 and I are in alignment on this, what we normally consider high short interest is a combination of two data points. The percent of float shorted has to be greater than 20% for us to consider that high. If it's under 20%, like this one's at 17, I would call this elevated, but maybe not high. And then the other metric that we're looking at is called days to cover. And this is how many days it would take to cover all of the raw short interest based on the stock's average volume. So here on Corsair, we have a days to cover of 7.9. The high threshold for us on this is 5. And again, this 13, stop me if I'm saying anything incorrect here, but this we have kind of picked up from having discussions about short interest with a lot of other people, including former private equity guys and analysts as well, that kind of led us to these numbers or these thresholds, if you will.
SXT.
Yeah, and I don't remember if this was the case or not when they gave us the number of 5, but that typically is, that's how many days there are, trading days there are in a week.
Yeah, they're very good.
So if they can't unwind that in a week, then it may carry over into the next week.
EDM music? What the hell? That's where all the views going, huh? Fucking EDM music and my hair overpaid and shit.
HCKT.
And yes, CRSR did pop over 750. We have printed 755. Starting to look like it's topping out a little bit, but I don't think that we're quite there yet. Let's see what this candle does. I want to see if we're starting to get IOTR to come in a bit. It's been pretty. It's been about the same for the past 20 minutes, so it hasn't really declined yet. I'm waiting to see if IOTR.
The other thing here is that now our VWAP is creeping up. This VWAP might be right around 7. So if we get that pullback and this thing yanks to 7, that would be an area worth watching for potential entry to the long side. Well, frankly, you might be able to make a case for either side if it breaks down through it. But nonetheless, the VWAP pullback here would be something to watch and potentially a setup for another trade here. And the other thing here, folks, I know it's Friday, and it's Friday before a long weekend. I would say it's 13. I'd like to get your opinion on this too. I think it's almost more paramount that on a Friday before an extended weekend, that you really don't do something that makes you feel crappy. Like chasing a stock, this stock's up 63%. Chasing this and not using some of the technical levels that are very apparent on the chart here is a really good way to make you antsy about getting back to it. You gotta wait an extra day because the market's gonna be closed on Monday next week. So just be
good looking out. Good to know. I did not know that. Market closed Monday.
Yeah, every day there's always something to trade. There's always some kind of mover that will provide something for us. Don't get hung up on one thing. And if it's not working out with your trades one day, use some of that discipline you've been training yourself on. Maybe sit on your hands or just take notes in your journal about what you did, what you did wrong. And, you can review that later. But don't continue to make a bad situation worse.
Indeed. 3 really good comments from the chat. Exactly 0 people are surprised at that. Kathy saying that Costco is finally over 1K. Boy, 13, that pullback that Costco did recently, I think ended up giving 150, 170 points. Can't remember exactly where it bottomed there, but Costco, I'll be going to make my pilgrimage tomorrow. Jay Rice here saying rotation out of SanDisk, Micron, and WDC into other tech wouldn't be a bad thing. I totally agree with you on that, Jay.
What's that?
NCI.
And that would be my follow-up question, right? What would they rotate into if tech? right? If tech. Would you like to see them rotate into anything else? Like, Jay, if you saw a rotation into small cap stocks,
Bears.
would that change your opinion on what you're looking to trade in 2026 at all? Just out of curiosity, I'm just coming up with an example. You might have another one. And then the third comment here, Alpha Trade, saying the thing with short interest is that the shorts do not have to cover all at once. You don't know what prices they shorted at.
Right.
This is absolutely correct. The thing there about the days to cover is if there are large short positions, Alpha, you're exactly right.
Similar chart patterns on the 5 minute with the keys and the SPY. Very similar. And here it goes breaking down.
It takes you a while to kind of get out of those. It's conceivable that that price can rise. Now, ultimately, this is not an end-all, be-all. This is just one more tool in your toolbox for trying to make the best possible decision.
And they're both the same too. Okay.
Really good comments from the group, though. And nobody's surprised. Nobody is surprised. Okay, SPY looks like, so you were asking me, is that those SPY calls, is that maybe the best idea? Well, nope, looks like we're rolling over
Higher,
here.
made a higher low.
Big
bullish move, pull back a little bit.
Immediately met that with selling. Now it looks like we're going to test the downside level here. Again, I'd watch 670.
Oversold bounce pace still in effect now.
And with these movers, we have Mulek halted again to the downside. I think this is going to have a date with 8, maybe the 65 EMA as well.
That is your third halt, by the way.
Yeah, and Corsair, for new session highs, 757. Trying to go a little bit higher. I think we might be starting to see volume come in a little bit. There's a seller in the way right now at 750. We can take him out. Maybe we do print a little bit higher, but I'm a little bit concerned about where we are at in the morning.
Right now, it's a chop fest right now. First 30 minutes of market.
Corsair a little bit.
Right now, it's just good to look
Still
right
not doing
now.
a whole lot, but it is a little bit lower, getting support from the 65 EMA. IMUX also sideways. Rivian going, now new lows for the session, regular session. Also still trading underneath the 65 EMA.
Yeah, because I don't
we
want to
might get some
the whole
support a little bit
thing.
further down, maybe in this consolidation area from the after hours yesterday, and it's going to put it down near the 200 EMA on the 5 minute. But like I said earlier, this has got a pretty large float. Their earnings, well, they were better than expected. This company is still losing a substantial amount of money. So I think there could still be some more downside, but you're going to probably get a lot of back and forth on the way down as well.
Okay, or Alpha Trade, excuse me. Is there a way to find out the short average price? So this is interesting. I have no reliable, consistent way of doing that. However, in my experience talking to people that are connected, people that run firms, that actually talk to CEOs, talk to other firms, sell-side analysts, the whole 9 yards, they can sometimes, and I don't know the specifics of this, but they can sometimes figure out where that short price is. Sometimes they're just told, right? So sometimes they're just able to figure that out based on the information that they have access to. But I don't have a reliable way of doing that. I would say here, if someone does in the chat, let's discuss that, because that could be cool.
Great trade there, Scott. Scalped 710 to 755 in the Corsair, looking to add back under 720.
I love it. I first of all, the fact that you have all the legs of this plan tell me that you're cooking right here. Let Scott cook. Maybe we do come back in here 720. I've got VWAP at 701. Good trade, Scott. Registering for it.
Yeah, Jay. With Corning, they I think that one of the big reasons they ran up so much is not just because of we're going to need fiber.
I want to check something too.
We also had a couple of other things too that I think contributed to this massive run it's had. One, of course, we know about the deal with Meta. That is trying to, lay fiber optic cable around the world as people. So here you are with this partnership, this company in partnership with Meta doing that. But also there's been, a significant, increase in undersea cable cutting done by countries like China and Russia. And they're, saying, well, I didn't know. But at the same time, we know what the game is, and that's having to be replaced. So you're also getting a move off of that as well. So two big things there: deal with Meta and undersea cable disruption.
I mean, they make all the screens for the smartphones and all these other devices. Cars have more screens in them that have Corning glass on them.
Yep.
Jay, what area would you like this to come into, just out of curiosity?
COIG.
Good stuff there, by the way. Who's thinking about it today? I need him to make fun of me for the new jokes and stuff.
MNTS, RNGR,
You might still be
RNGR,
thinking about
MDCS, DFL,
Blue Leg, come on. Blue Leg Open went down a little bit lower and got support from the Big 12 area. Trying to turn around,
MDCS,
having a hard time though. Coming up to some resistance. There it is right there. We're at resistance now. Let's see if we can push it.
CONL, MHES,
CRSR, by the way, 759 is your high print, 774, I beg your pardon, is the 200-day. We talked about that earlier, and we expect resistance there.
DNGO,
It's still going.
Kathy mentioning HYMC. Yeah, like I said, when we
PPSI.
figured out, shout out to the AI there. Because when we figured out that, yeah, this is because of memory, and it didn't take us very long to do that, and that they still have stock, to me, this one, I know I didn't want to chase and didn't go in full size there. It was just one scalp and it was quick. I actually wish we got a pullback there. That would have been great. It really kind of ran way ahead of the open. But I'm not surprised to see the upside. And perhaps you're getting rotation from some of those other memory names. HYMC being mentioned by Kathy is coming up to the 38 handle, which is where it topped yesterday.
The daily on that.
On HYMC?
Uh-huh. This is kind of interesting.
It sure is.
Chris,
This is
AWR,
starting to, what I think might be forming a bit of a base
JDZG.
sell-off and loss of a 20-day SMA. So if this continues sideways, we're going to want to see a recapture of that 20 day SMA. I think the 40
JDZG.
also would be in the card as well. Not the same area, but I think there's a very $5 So that's kind of what I would want to see here out of Mycroft. And if we are getting support from BTC, so it looks like it is down in a support area. I think that this may end up going, sideways with BTC before it comes back up. Keep an eye on BTC. That's going to tell you risk is back on in the market or not. It is a lot of these names.
COIG,
Riskier names are starting to come back.
Kathy, what do you think here? Tell me what you think. Do
FGL,
you like this on a potential curl back towards 40? Maybe even through it? Tell me what you think. No wrong answers. VIX, by the way, someone's asking 2184, so the VIX is actually near the high. The high print of the day is 2240.
FGL,
Getting asked by Super, founder of 19% favor, very low volume, any news. So let's see here. Got a float of 4.6 million.
IOTR,
I'm not seeing
IOTR,
any news. Solar solutions provider. I wonder if kind of thing. CPI was favorable, so getting a lot of these more speculative names to come back up. I'm not sure if that's the case or not. For an answer might be that. I don't see any news.
I got some more information here. Founder Group, ticker FGL, does not publicly disclose a single list of its main customers, but it does describe the type of customers that it serves. Utility, large-scale solar project owners, commercial and industrial companies, and partners in regional renewable products.
MPAA,
So that would be ASEAN countries, ACEAN, under the Memorandum of Understanding for future EPCC and related services.
IOTR,
I'm just looking around at some of these other solar names, and they're up to First Solar, TAN.
And so that doesn't look to be location specific. FGL filings emphasize that revenue is generated predominantly from Malaysia-based solar projects. Some of those other ones that you named has nothing to do with FGL, and this looks like a theme move.
Okay, so yeah, and then that's kind of what I'm thinking it must be then, and it might be on the back of that CPI report. I can't say for sure, but all the solar names are getting on that here.
And here, three Z Crew says, what does HYMC have to do with Bitcoin? It's a gold and silver miner.
All right.
NLGS,
Since it bounced off the 50, I added. Okay, so Kathy, I'd asked you what you think. I appreciate this. Since HYMC bounced off the 50-day, I added. I would probably get out of half when it gets to resistance around 55. That would be a hell of a swing trade, Kathy. That's
So we've also seen Bitcoin a speculative name, so I wouldn't be surprised if
1.57?
this, also goes with the CPI report. That's, that's I think why you're getting a lift with some of these more speculative names. So because I think with that CPI report, there's this sentiment that we're going to get some rate cuts from the Fed Fed mark. Inflation's coming down, so that means we're not going to raise rates, or we'll be holding rates as we're steady. So all the names that are tied to higher risk and lower rates, they're all going to go. So solar is going to be up there, miners are going to be up there, whether they be Bitcoin or metals. Banks should also be getting a lift too.
Bitcoin has been the risk-on indicator for us. By the way, here's a look at the silver chart, that's SLV. Here's a look at the gold chart. All of those curling up here. And don't worry, guys, I will continue to ban the copy pasta screaming nonsense that comes into the chat.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, HYMC.
Let me at least check it out first.
Very low, 1.1. It's interesting because they saw it in share flow and the one traded out of the shares today.
Hood calls. How's Hood doing today? Hood, actually, this is a nice day. This has retraced 50% of its move down yesterday. And a possible resistance area here, 75.
Corsair, new high at 768. Coming back to, we've got a red double new pulled up here above 745. Started up.
I'll tell you what, Scott's going to get a whole bunch more sound effects and victory laps if this VWAP creeps up to 720, the stock pulls back and holds 720. Because if his plan just materializes perfectly and the VWAP aligns with that, you'll get another victory lap, Scott.
Well, aside from Corsair, nothing looking too great. And there's a lot to trade out there. But, I mean, I'm looking at iBit right now, thinking that this is, I don't think that we're starting to see the recovery of Bitcoin. I think it goes sideways for a little bit. But keep an eye on iBit.
And then really quickly here, regarding any recent tokenization IPOs, I mean, the only ones that I know about are Bitcoin and Robinhood. Those aren't necessarily recent. Looks like in February of 2026, you had Ondo Finance listed on the NISA and NASDAQ to be tokenized on blockchains like Ethereum, Solana, and BNB chains from day one.
Ray, the Hood CEO said that Bitcoin revenue is only 18% of their total. So are they selling Bitcoin, or where does their revenue come from? Because my understanding
shit, here we go. Wait.
Is that you're not necessarily owning the crypto that you're trading. You're owning the right to it. It's on paper essentially. So is it from just transactions that they're getting this revenue, or are they actually selling? I'm just kind of curious about that. Because if they're not selling it, then with the Bitcoin valuation coming down, so too should their stock.
Maybe we're getting this pullback here in Corsair. The 5-minute chart looks like the top is there at 768.
Yeah, you're starting to see a decline in volume. Momentum is starting to fade a little bit here. At 730, that's going to be the next support area from right where we are. And if we lose that, then we've got the US.
IGV, this is actually getting a little bit of a bounce back from yesterday's shellacking.
OSTX.
NBIS looks like that continued.
DUOT.
Yep, sure did. SPY looks like it's back on, trying to take out the high of that pre-market range.
SMTS.
Fastly is coming back up to its VWAP. If we can get over 1674, we might be able to get to 17.
Okay, so we would want to break on that VWAP on Fastly, right? We wouldn't want to try while it was still under VWAP.
Yeah,
1663, 1666 are the two VWAP readings I have.
What else is everybody looking at? Yesterday's high was $79. Okay.
Icon. AMWL.
Should be having a better day than yesterday.
MPLT. KGEI.
Still think that HUD's going to go lower. We have an imminent death cross coming.
DTI.
And this can't recap for 80. think that's going to be the big level we need to get back up to. Because if we can get over 80, then we're
AMWL.
gonna gap a little bit
UHG.
up to 85, 50. If
BTAS.
we can't, then
CHR.
I think we're going to come down to
AMWL. RVSN.
Spy is trying to push here. I was just taking a look. Those 685 0 DTE calls are the same price they were this morning. Just goes to show you really have to time that move or get your entry correct.
IOTR.
Otherwise, those 0 DTEs are going to continue to deteriorate as the day goes on. Might be something to check in for power hour. We'll see. God, there's been so much back and forth for me. I haven't really been peeking at the
SYPR.
unusual options here.
BCTX. PPSI.
MDT looks like this was a call buy for June.
RNGR.
100 call buy. They bought 7,300 contracts, spent 4.76 million on that trade. That's MDT Medtronic. Now they have earnings in 4 days, guys.
This is one of the ones I own. I like those medical devices.
Yo, that option trade ahead of earnings, 4 days ahead of earnings at the money with that kind of size. Let's check. Remind me, 13. This is Tuesday before the market, so Tuesday morning. Remind me. But in fact, I'm gonna send an alert. I don't know if I'm gonna take that trade. I wonder if somebody knows something there. Let me.
And I don't have
BTSX.
this for a trade. I have this for a longer investment. I own this much more.
Chuck. MDT.
This is not a trade for me. This is a longer term investment.
Oh, sweet. 4 plus 1. Okay. No, look, because here's the thing. I'm gonna forget. If I don't set this reminder, I'm gonna forget. And at least now, my computer will remind me to take a look at this.
It's going to be the first thing that we get out of the long weekend. The first thing we get.
3D said we got another producer. Check this out. We got another YouTube commercial in the middle of the stream. That shouldn't be happening, I don't think. You might get one at the beginning, but I don't think you should be getting. Producer, can you check in on 3D's experience here?
James bought PayPal Views for the hell of it.
Good luck, brother.
Yeah, I mean, I still think this goes to 30. I don't know if it's going to go lower or find support there, but I'm thinking it goes to 30.
Matthew, this is one of the things that I have been hammering on here today. Remember, last week we were red all week, and then we had that green Friday, then back to red on Monday. I'm not getting excited, and I think that Tuesday will go back to red.
ACT.
This thing's getting ridden down by the 50-day SMA, maybe even the 20. I don't know about the 20. I don't think that's really the case. I think the 50-day SMA is where this needs to recapture.
CONL.
We came down to all-time lows just recently.
All right, guys, I will have my producer look into this. I'm sorry about that, but I thank you for all of your support. Also, thank you, Hondas Highs.
CD.
Medtronic got a device approved today.
MNT.
Kind of surprised we went a little bit higher on that. They have that.
Barclays also reiterating overweight and 116 price target.
Oh, for their spine surgery robotic system.
Fastly, don't look now, but rejected at the VWAP. Told you we had to wait till that got over VWAP. Altimmune back on the scanner. Oh, this pulled back from when Kathy was banking off of this.
OMDA.
Medtronic still coming in after that. Okay, so it looks like it did pop on that news earlier. Now it's coming back in. Okay. I still like it.
Yep, rejected again. Look at that. Rejected off the Bollinger Bands.
I don't know about that. I think you may still get it just because the volume is really started to come in a lot.
I'll tell you what, that VWAP is creeping up to his 720 spot, 13.
I know. I know, because I see that. But, I'm just looking at the volume and I'm thinking, okay, well, this volume here is not going to probably give us enough to really push us a little bit higher. So I would think that maybe we do come in a little bit here. And if it does come down that VWAP, you're going to get your 720 entry. Yeah, and so I think you're right. Not much trading. I only took a trade or two, and I think we're probably going to see. You might be right about next week as well. Although I think because we're still going to be in the Lunar New Year and Asian markets being closed, we're going to probably get a lot, a lot more of what we had this week. But the week after, I think we're going to see a lot better trading. Asian markets will be back open.
Yeah.
We might have a SCOTUS ruling on tariffs by then, or that.
That's Friday, right?
It might be as early as next Friday.
It might be as early as the 20th, but maybe that week of the 23rd. Okay.
Right. And then we also have NVIDIA earnings that week.
On the 25th. That's Wednesday, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm thinking that not next week, not the short week next week, but the week after, we might see better price action here in the markets with return of Asian markets and all the other news cabinets that are coming out.
I thought you were going to bust into singing Return of the Mac right there, and I was about to move with you, but no worries.
I can't sing that good.
Yeah, neither can I. Neither can I.
I do joke good sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's see here what we've got going on with these movers. Really not a whole lot anymore.
CRSR is the mover of the day.
Yeah,
I think that's really the easy one.
And with the way the volume looks, I really do think it's going to come back in a little here. Momentum is starting to keel over a little bit. I'm just going to just wait.
MTLS.
And it's been a decent morning. I don't want to get anything back.
Yeah, I would do. I'm actually nicely green here today. I know I'm back
SUNE.
with some of the I will say, the scalp for me on Corsair, I didn't feel good about it because I felt like I was chasing, so I just kind of reduced my size on it, or at least to hit something.
Yeah, Daniel, I think you're right about Mulek. For me, I think we just got to get back above VMAP, and we'll see what happens there. But this thing's got a bit of a spread, about a 10-cent spread. Volume is really starting to fade from this thing, so don't know if we're going to see that recapture the VLAP here on Mulek in the morning, maybe later on today, as we've seen so many times with these movers that come back. But for now, I'm not sure. Due to Han saying Duke hit his first target, Duke, I've owned this for a while. This is a great utility company. Yeah, I don't have any problem with this one. Although for taking a long position, I'm not so sure I'd be necessarily doing it up here. But still, I agree. I think it's a great company. I'm just not sure if this is the price I'd be buying at. We've gone on a bit of a run. This is a little bit more towards the top of that run. We're starting to get a little bit extended on the RSI. But if you have a plan on what you're going to do with this, go for it. Don't be disappointed. Affect your plans. I think it's a good company.
Also here, just a couple of things. Hippo Hero Zero broke my heart to see my Corsair call not get bought. Did you make a call on that like a little bit ago, and we just didn't buy? I'm sorry about that. That was a good one. And when we were kind of reviewing the earnings, I think it was X Sniper said, "How did we miss this?" Apparently we didn't. Apparently Hippo had it the whole time. And we just didn't surface it enough. I blame myself. Also, fastly through the VWAP there. So if you were going to try to trade that, I think waiting for the VWAP to fall is good. This actually might challenge the top end of the range.
We've got bulls, we've got bears. Sometimes we have whales, but there is only one Hippo.
You hear that, Hippo? Here.
Fastly with a recapture of the VWAP.
Yep, that's what I was just saying. And so this, we'll see if this gives us if this pulls back here, but this is what I would want to be waiting for another challenge at 1750-ish.
What about Rivian? So we touched on Rivian earlier, and I still don't like it.
It is trying to go through its 65 EMA though.
Yeah, it's just, when I look at the amount of money they're losing, it's just not a killer to me. Gosh, this doesn't look great. Let's see if this fills the gap to the downside. That's going to take us down to about 1475. But on the intraday, looks like it is trying to come back up. I would say
So we got a test coming.
17, 15, I think is where you're going to see this go to before it runs into some more resistance. I mean, it looks to me like we've got a bit of a double top here in the from the pre-market to the regular session. So if we do come back up, I'm thinking 17, 15 is going to be a resistance area. It might even be this Jwett here. We'll see. You know, maybe for a trade, you could get something out of this. If you're looking for an investment, I don't like it. That's dumb.
Fastly on its way to 17. We'll see if it can print that.
SBYD.
Ooh, it just fell off the screen. There we go. Corsair's still holding above 750. We had that one nailed.
Hans mentioned that Planet Labs is going up.
FBYD.
A imaging company with a space place.
AISED.
They have news.
SXTC.
We've got here. Please populate news feed. So the news today, Planet convenes European and defense advisory boards. So somewhere in this article here, they are they may be tacked by European defense advisory boards for imaging information. I would say I'd have to read through this, or you can send it an AI through and tell you what they think. But that's the news that appears to be here today.
DTI. GBNE.
Looks like they also had some news yesterday, but that was much earlier in the morning.
Really quickly, Super saying, how much time left to unhalt FGL? Not to be bearer of bad news here, but I don't know. FGL is halted at 10:06:39 Eastern Time, and it is 10:25. So this is 19 minutes of halt. Wasn't this the Malaysian one? Yeah, this is the Malaysian solar company that we talked about. Yep. I don't know the answer to that, Supric. I don't want to get too Debbie Downer here and say that maybe this does not open again today. But I don't love that it's been 19 minutes. 5 and 10 minutes have been the thresholds that we often see on these.
So I'm wondering if there's some news coming, and that's why it might be halted. Because this company is going through a NASDAQ compliance issue. They just did a 100 for 1 share combination. So they're going to have to likely raise some more capital. I'm wondering if we have news halting. And you know what? When was this movie? Was this all today?
Today.
Okay. They halted last night on news pending at 7:50 p.m. Eastern. And I don't know what that was on. Something's happening here with this.
Yeah, and Brian here says that's a long halt, something is not right, and that's what I'd be worried about. And you were absolutely on Monday, this thing halted at 7:50 news pending. Yeah, you're right, and I don't have reasons for these halts today.
I'm a little concerned that this may be an offering coming. I can't think of really a whole lot of why this didn't, unless there's some significant news coming that's going to be materially great for the company, like a news headline about a deal or something. But see what's going on with this, and they have the NASDAQ compliance, and the recent reverse split. I'm thinking that this may be some kind of offering that's coming here.
That would be bad. Real quickly here, and then we'll wrap before we go to Anne Marie. A number of you folks are mentioning Ondas, and this is here at the highs. This has definitely been good action here today. Here's what it looks like on the daily chart. Now, Zach, you're mentioning here the daily candle is higher than yesterday's, and indeed that's what we see here. This is giving us the curling effect. It's also giving us a higher low from the recent pullback to the 8s. And he says it's in a downtrend. I hope that changes soon. Now, what I would want to see here, I've got the 9 EMA on the daily at 979. I would love to recapture that. A recapture of that would make me feel pretty good that we are indeed trying to change the trend. Better still, if we can move through this trend line. I've got that at about 1033.
If you look at a 5-minute or smaller time frame between Tuesday and Wednesday, the after hours and pre-market, there is an area of consolidation that I think that we're at right now. I think
That's what
that's
happens
gonna
when
be
you fucking
keeping an eye
delay
on
the shit and then now
your
boom.
target mentioned, like you said, 970. What was it?
Let me go back.
979.
979.
So this consolidation area, the high end of
Oh
it,
my
is
God, bro.
76. So I think if we get to that, you're gonna potentially get your wish. You might end up seeing 10. You gotta get through all that consolidation.
And Glenn here mentioning that the Ondas 0.618 fib level is at 966, so it looks like there's a lot of important spots right here. And by the way, folks, before we do this wrap here, I guess we can let's just do it as part of the wrap because I believe Fastly was on the movers list here. Let me see if I can select that here. It's not. Okay, let me just do it manually and then we'll go ahead and wrap some of these movers. Fastly, this did trade back above its VWAP, but the better news here is that it is actually building above the VWAP. So we are holding and we are, to me, this actually sets up perhaps another run to 18. We'll see there on Fastly. Okay.
It's just gotta get the volume, I think.
It's just got to get the volume. All right, we're going to start here. So we talked a little bit about MLEC. We just kind of broke down. Oh, no, that was FTL. MLEC, this is one of the movers here. This has really kind of come back in. Looks like it might be testing the 9 EMA. 13, what do you think here on MLEC?
This may still go a little bit lower and test that 65 EMA as support. I don't know that we're necessarily going to get a reversal off that and go higher. But this did have some pretty interesting news about the de-recognization.
Oh, potential bounce on SPX for the daily. Let's see.
Bioceres, but this company was a parent company of. So with that money coming towards it, we may still see some better price action in the coming days, maybe next week. But for today, right now,
8% move on the rich tag.
We're going to see some more upside. End up testing the 65 EMA first before we end up getting that. Just a couple of things to watch for. We also need that volume component, and it's just not there right now.
Okay, and Fastly, by the way, did get a little bit of the volume pop here through 17. Waiting for that VWAP to get crossed was definitely the move. Okay, best mover of the day here. CRSR, Corsair Gaming, moving on earnings and bolstered by the price of memory. This is near the highs here. This has been a really good call all day. What do you think on this?
I think it's slowing down. Volume is something I've been talking about a lot all morning.
Vinny!
And it was going pretty well for about the first 30 minutes of trading until we hit that 768. Since then, the volume has really kind of dropped off. So even if we do get a little bit higher prices, you may want to end up selling into those because I think you're going to see that with a lot of resistance. And if it does get a breakout, it could be dead immediately with a big seller. So I think this one may end up trading a little bit better in the afternoon, but right now it looks like this is looking to come back in.
Okay, and this will probably be the last mover that we'll recap here, Rivian.
Well, this one looks like it's got support from some of the after hours highs that it had yesterday, and today we went down to just underneath 1650. Well, 1650 was where the highs were in the after hours the earnings print. So getting support from that, it is turning around and trying to recapture the 65 EMA and the VWAP. But this does have a very large float. It's the earnings, even though they were beats, they're not necessarily great earnings. It's
back
excluding a substantial amount of money. So I don't know how great this is going to be. If this manages to get back above VWAP, perhaps there'll be something there. But with the way the volume is shaping up to kind of diminishing a bit, and just the current price action, I don't know how great this will be. But maybe there will be a better trade if it's back above VWAP.
Okay, 13, really good stuff. Any closing words for the group?
All right, it's back. Hold on,
Valentine's Day. Tell everybody that you love them, your mom, your dad, and have a great 3-day weekend. And we'll be back after this. I don't know what kind of week we'll get, being that it's short and a lot of Asian markets are closed, but we're going to do this one. So until then, take care. I'll see you on Tuesday.
All right, 13, remember, I've heard that the people in Dubai don't like the Flintstones, but the people in Abu Dhabi do. Have a good one. All right, let's bring on Anne-Marie. Let's see how she is doing here today. Anne-Marie liked that one.
Welcome to Dad Joke right there. Fabulous.
Okay, hey, we joke around here. That's one of the things we do. Anne-Marie, happy Friday. It's good to see you. As always, what do you got for us?
Well, a couple of different things. One on done is I
CYW.
have
AISP.
been working
DFNS.
with Claude
ADUR.
and
MBTS.
Otis for
Claude had kind of a big drop, and I feel like everyone is working with Claude now.
right. So I got it
SSTS.
to build me something I'm
HYPT.
calling a post earnings
MRAN.
drift. And so what it does is pop
WYFI.
out the things that fit
WYFI.
all the parameters and then
CIFG.
give us
BDSX.
a nice list of what's
AQMS.
going on. So today we
BDSX.
have option volume
Jello.
really high in Teva and Southwest Air.
NGSX.
So we can take a look at those
VVPR.
two.
ATOS.
Before that, I don't know if you got the note that you probably got the
NDSS.
note that I said,
AGIG.
hey, coin's gonna be a buy.
Mm-hmm.
And so
MNTS.
it's up
MRAN.
$23
Hello.
today. So really nice. But what I wanted to do, you know, every
USGO.
time I try to come in and I just want people to look
SCWR.
for the really obvious things sitting around in the chart. And what
WYFI.
was super obvious to me is that I looked to the left
VSTL.
and
MOP.
1
MOP.
year ago,
SQNS. Indo.
almost, we had the same kind of bottoming formation. And I
HPSX.
said, you know
HPK.
what, I'm buying this
OPTX.
into earnings. And it certainly did. I think it would probably be up a lot more if the market wasn't
IDYUR.
a little weighty. So we
BGMS.
might have a run all the way upward here.
BCTX.
Here's the problem.
MNTS.
bounce
ACRV.
Up
Hang on.
into this zone easily could be a sell and then a buy. And so if you're staring this down and you go, hey, Bitcoin might be bottoming, you know, we're seeing a lot of the
DJS.
Bitcoin type companies
HYPD.
start to catch a little bit of life. You could say, hey, let me see if I can
MRAN.
get this from 185 to 195 to 205.
MRAN.
So
Indo.
if you're looking for March or April, probably the better one, you would say,
Spear.
uh,
TWAT. CYN.
you would do
AACO.
April
HOTX.
180, 200 to 220. That gives you $2,000 of upside, so a
Indo.
10 to 1.
Spear.
This yesterday was $4.97.
OPTX.
This
HPK.
170
triple.
call. Yeah, so that was
MLEC.
really, really nice. But this is one that I would
CLIG.
say if you're into it,
BDSX.
you think it's
CPIX.
got some legs that'll
INHD.
hold,
REGEN.
and you're okay with a little up and down
TGES.
action, that one's your guy. That one's
Okay.
your guy for sure. All right,
Right.
let's take a look at Southwest Air.
Okay.
So
Right.
here's the cool thing about these. It
VIBS.
tells us this
EPSN.
post-earnings
DTI.
drift thing tells us whether the
BKKT.
daily trend is up, the
BKKT.
weekly trend is up, and
USGG.
overall what the candle integrity looks like. But
HYPT.
they had a slurry
BKKT.
of calls hit
BKKT.
their
BTI.
space, and so let's see if we can go find them. Here is a volatility event, and this is 4 times the natural volume that came up into the chart.
ADUR.
And so
HOX.
they are sitting right in a zone that looks pretty
Oh, yeah.
nice
OS.
for an overall hold into, again, that same April,
SPIGs.
that same April
BGM.
space.
OMDA. BRRR.
Oh, they don't
AINL.
have April. So let's try,
FTK.
I gotta find where this volume came in.
LITM.
Hang on.
INUV.
Boy, there's some big open interest in that.
Yeah,
I think a spread
very
there.
big.
GL.
Very, very big. This is a pretty nice
BNGL.
place. It's in the money already, so unless you're doing something like buying yourself a regular
Yes.
put spread, excuse me, buying yourself a regular put spread, it's gonna feel a little
CIFG.
bit more expensive for a $5 spread. You could also
That's a call spread?
yes, that's a call spread.
Okay.
It's 5 wide. But you could also sell the 45-40 put spread and pay
Bats.
for,
BDSX.
you know, almost half of it. So, well, more than half of it. My thought is, I'm trying to figure out where
Lucy.
these guys moved
INHD.
into the chains. And I cannot see them. So, I wonder if they moved into
SLGB.
next year.
AUID.
That's very
BDRX.
interesting. Hang on, let's take a quick peek at the option stats. Puts. Very interesting. Alright, let's take a look. Maybe I missed them. Looking on the rock. Aha, here it is. So my guess
INTZ,
is somebody's
BNGO.
either
INTZ.
defending 50 or they want to be put to 50 because
OPTX.
they think the stock is going to hold that region as support. Because it's a big
ASVP.
fat round number. Because they're getting so much premium, they're getting over
ASVP.
$2 a premium, so it puts their
SSTI.
buy point somewhere around the
JDZG.
low of the follow-up candlestick after earnings.
JDZG.
is pretty
Cola.
interesting.
OMDA.
My suspicion is that this 45 to 40 is going to give us a pretty solid hold because overall we've
BDSX.
got really good trend
INHD.
and nice momentum. Now, but since the vol is high, the
SPA.
system is also saying, hey, listen, you're better off selling a spread as opposed to buying a spread, so we can do actually
DRMH.
both. You can sell the put spread, collect some premium, and then sell buy a call spread, again, taking part of a lot of that premium. And if you say, well, maybe some of these regional jets are the ones who are going to be able to hang on, especially one that's fairly well run, you know, and these guys are fairly well run. You could say, hey, you know, put me to it and I'll sell you the 50 for $2.20. The next one,
Really quickly, 13 said that the monthly chart makes 40 really stand out as a support level.
yeah, let's see. Let's go to, oops, the monthly one up here.
You don't have to go to it. I was just adding to it.
Yeah, let's do it.
MLEC.
AMWL. DBGI. STRO.
Yeah, I do see that. I do see
STRO.
that. And take a look at these candlesticks. The
AMWL.
break above these candlesticks is pretty interesting. If they haven't had a breakaway, this is a solid base right here. They haven't had a breakaway in a long time in terms of motion,
KGEI.
so could give us a little bit of run, at least for a couple of months.
STRO.
And then, you know, we've got upside pressure for the rest of
AMWL.
the year after this
PPSI.
dip that comes somewhere in June.
Okay.
So, yeah, looks pretty interesting. Looks pretty interesting. All right, so let's go to
SBSW.
let's go to
SIS.
Teva. Teva's pharmaceutical, Israeli pharmaceutical, and this they just reported earnings a short time ago.
PRFX.
So we're looking for candlestick follow through.
PIVS.
Everything bullish in general,
REVB. DUOT.
and the vol is very low.
STRO.
Buying the call options will be cheaper. And so if we stare this down and we say, you know, the stop for me is always the low
RNGR.
of the weekly earnings candle.
MPC.
And so you can see it right here. So if you
STRO.
take a long in Teva, you definitely you definitely want to create an alert that tells you what's going on there. So how do you want to do that? A couple of ways. We can go, whoa, where are those puts?
SBSW.
This is for Teva, huh? Let's see if I can
Yeah,
find those for you. That was a lot.
yeah.
I think that's about Teva, right? Let's do this for you here. Let's see,
Teva.
option time and
NPC.
sales. Looks like you had some big ones here. This is the June
Ellie.
monthly 30, 22, and 26 puts. So the June.
I see them.
Okay.
I see them. So they are betting on this chart fading, and so if we follow that money, that's a strange looking hedge.
It sure is.
And obviously that's what it is. It's some kind of
I mean, those
hedge.
are almost exact. Those are off by 7.
Yeah. So this is one person, more than likely. So if we want to do that, you could follow along. We don't quite know, don't quite know the structure for what they're after, but you could buy
NPC.
the put and then sell the call. So let's see where we would want to sell a call.
MD.
Up at the high spike, which would be 37. Nobody's in there today. Spread's 30 cents wide, so it's not super favorable. But it would pay for that put. And here's the thing, if we repatriate this,
FMST. FMST.
many of the generic drugs that we take are made by
CGTL.
Teva. They're one of the largest generic
FMST.
drug companies in the world. And so that's pretty interesting. Now, to me, they're
FMST.
really looking
INMB.
like they've finally broken out.
BDSX.
But, well, there's that 25 level, and then 24, and then 22. So, do with it what you will. My trade is not in, my thought was, hey, they're gonna hold it, so you sell the 30/25s, and there's 10,000 puts there. So, I would say it's probably smarter to follow the money
BDSX.
than seeing what the chart is telling us in hindsight. You know what I mean? All right. Let's take a look at a few others. Or do you have anything? that you-
Let's try to think. I mean, we covered Coinbase. That was probably the big
LGHL.
earnings report.
Yeah.
Well, let's go to the group here. Let's see what you guys want, and it might take a sec because there might be a little bit of a delay.
Sure.
You just got called a smooth operator, by the way. How about shop?
Yeah.
That was actually requested here, Linda.
Yes, indeed. Okay,
ASVP.
so option vol is expensive. And what do we do here? We're in the middle of these earnings. This is the bar. Here are the 2 prior earnings. So, wow, that's really sideways.
AP.
Probably gonna head to the bottom of the box. Let's see what the vol looks like. The volume, excuse me. Volatility, the volume. More calls than puts.
Okay.
All right, so let's go back. This is a trend line. This one right here. My thought is that the statistic is that we walk through the prior bars if we fade into the past. The fly in the ointment is that we are already walking through this bar over here, and if we use the 50% marker, that gives us
SSTI. FC.
What is that, about $100 as the floor? So if we say, hey, let's see if we can get some bullish pressure.
SSTI.
And I gotta tell you, what I'm seeing and where these option traders have positioned, they don't look good to me, which is confusing. But if we look at overall trend and we say, hey, dip buys, so we know trend is generally from a big time frame up. In the short term, it's down on both the daily and the weekly. In the short term, running 20 days back. Then what we're staring down here is a break
STRO.
below the low of the earnings candle, which pushes us into the base. So if we have a two-way tape, because it says candle integrity is mixed, so if we do that and we say, all right, let's see if we can have something that goes onto both sides. It either comes into the bottom, and that number is around, let's say 85, so we'll go 95, 85, 75, and up, and we'll say that's 120, 130, 140.
BCBP.
So let's see how that looks. Here is 95, expensive, 95, 85, 75, $1.18.
Looks. ATCX.
Tons of open interest. Holy smokes. So this looks fair. We're sitting in this edge. We could do, let's see how much more expensive the 190, 80 is. Same price. I would pay the 3 cents more and get it closer to the money. And now we look at the 120, nobody going on there, 120, 130, 140, 97 cents. These guys, their numbers are way down here for higher levels, right? There are a lot of people very interested in shop at higher levels. Just not at this particular time because it started fading into support. So I like both of those. I think they're solid.
NP.
I really do.
SQNS. AP.
Okay, good stuff there on
STRO.
Shopify. Let's see, we've got time here.
Okay.
We did coin. We did
STRO.
have
There's
Joe
some
wanted.
others that, go ahead, yes.
Joe wanted to take, the
SQNS,
only other two that I see here are Hood and Palantir.
Aha, great. Let's take a look at Hood. Looks like it's breaking down to me. Look at where the continuation is. Remember, I draw the boxes on the weekly prior earnings, and here it is coming into this space. So we've got a downward trend here that's got, potential. Let's
SWAT.
and I believe the traders are going to try and bottom out.
BNED.
Also,
Looks.
if Bitcoin gets a bid, this is going to get a bid. And so all of those
INFU.
coin, Hood, Bitcoin, the Bitcoin ETFs, all of those look like they've got possibilities for some kind of reflexive bounce action. The relative volume is way higher these
ARFX.
last few days. So to
EKSL.
me, that tells me if it bounces, you're going to find
HPK.
sellers right at this box right here. So you could do them both. You could say, hey, it fades
NP.
into 60. So you could do 65, 60,
VVPR,
55,
VVPR.
or it pops up and fills the gap,
VVPR.
and you could do 85, 95, 105.
Okay.
So
INFU.
what we got? I'm gonna give it until March or April. Let's try March because the move might be reflexive.
Watt.
So we've got.
Looks.
What did I say?
RNGR.
here?
HR.
65. No. Oh, yes, I want a 5 spread. here.
ARDT.
5 spread is 41 cents. And this one up here, we did
MB.
85.
OCG.
95, 105. It's $1.10. You could also do 85, 90, 95. You just have to be quick on the trigger
Atom.
to get
80.
out because
Watt.
that butterfly shape is not fat like this. It's
Low
very
PRS.
skinny. And so the wing space is very
INNB.
defined. But if you're looking to make a great return, but you don't want a lot of
Yeah.
risk, this is perfect because you could sell it out at a 50% return and still,
AMWL.
it just moves up 20 cents. So
I mean, this is 82 cents total for exposure in both directions. I don't.
Exactly.
This is probably the most appealing one we've done so far.
Yeah.
today.
it looks good. It looks
Rule.
good. You gotta watch it though. All right, and then the last one was what?
Palantir.
Looks. STRO.
Let's see where they're trading right now.
UHG.
Pretty even.
MSW.
Pretty even. Okay, so let's stare down
USIN.
Palantir. Look at this. Man, these boxes,
The box.
Tusk.
they
Tusk.
are incredible.
They really are.
This looks like a buy zone to me.
INFU.
That being said, all of this
ATOS.
volume
UHG.
here
UHG.
tells
UHG.
me
AP.
that my first pass bounce,
MSW.
people are going to start
BWAV.
running for the fire exit. So let's take a look. This is the week of
FC.
last
TTEC.
week.
Looks.
So that's my candle, and
NP.
then let me go back to. Whoops! Wait a second.
ELAB. OTLY.
This is the one before it. So that would be the upside target, would be inside of
AB.
this box at 165. The downside target would be
FC. AP.
105, catching this event. But, it's sitting pretty close to a sport floor.
PAVS.
That's a little bit of a mixed bag. But traders are definitively going to try and bounce here. They're also going to try and sell once they get to the top. So you could take the long spread and
SSTI.
say, hey, I want to trade it to
FGL.
from 140 to 150 to 160.
STRO.
You could do your butterfly there, or this one would have to be at the money if you're looking for
PHI.
probably go down to 120. So the put side would be a little
TTEC.
bit more expensive. Let's
TTEC.
see.
Kids.
Let's
MB.
go again. We'll get these guys
Text.
until March. They move very quickly.
SRYT. SXTC.
So this one is 120, 110, 100. That's a buck. You could also make it a little
KGE.
tighter, but again, it
BNET.
starts creeping up over
SXTC.
that middle strike. If you did 120,
SXTC. SXTC.
115 to 110,
SXTC.
as we all
SXTC.
know, Palantir can move $30 in a day. So
Okay.
that spread is a little
PHIO.
nerve-wracking
BVPR.
to
SXTC.
time to exit in a trade like this. So these guys, what are we looking? 1-4. Ooh, look at that. Big move right there. So they're seeing the same thing. 140, 150, 160. That move up. I like the bounce pass here, and then when it gets to the
Job
top,
SH.
you can buy yourself a put butterfly. But if it were up to me, I would say the call spread is the most likely thing in this formation. It looks almost like coin coming into lows that were almost a year ago, prior earnings. Could it fall out of bed? Yep, it sure could. And a 105 would be the next test.
Yeah.
But I like it for the first pass reflective bounce that gives us an upside shot.
Okay, can you go back to that Analyze tab? Joe's asking, sorry, are we talking about call spreads? Well, yes, but she's actually outlined, not spreads, sorry. She's actually outlined a call butterfly and 2 put butterflies here. Looks like they're both March. One's just a little bit cheaper as it's more aggressive.
Yeah, it's much tighter. So if you did want to do a call spread, absolutely nothing wrong with the 140, 150. There's a lot of volume there. A lot of people are doing it. If it went all the way to the top, you'd be almost 5x. So you'd be about 4x and some change. So you'd be in, pretty good shape. Not a bad trade if you just wanted to go outright the spread and give yourself, a nice return if the chart actually bounces like that.
Okay. All right. Anne-Marie, really good stuff and really excellent timing as well, as per usual. So, have a good weekend and enjoy your holiday with hubby.
Thank you. I'm in the futures market, so it's going to be open. So I will. It's just
HCTI.
He understands. Anne-Marie, have a good one. We'll follow up the next week. And actually, no market on Monday, so we'll have you on Tuesday for the opening of the week. Amazing. All right, take care. That is Anne-Marie Band, folks. Put your hands together. She is indeed the options goddess. All right, now Anne-Marie's departure leaves room for Paolo. Let's bring him on. Let's see how he's doing. Paolo, how are you?
Hey Ryan, how are you? Can you hear me?
I can't. I'm just kidding. Sorry. Yeah, just trying to add some humor here. I can hear you fine. What do you got on deck for us today?
All right, perfect. Thank you for inviting us. Of course, as always, and we're going to check some software stocks that seem pretty oversold and looking at some interesting levels for long term.
Okay, that sounds perfect. Trading Made Simple with Paolo starts right now.
Welcome back, traders. This is Sandra with Trading Made Simple. I'm here to show you short-term proven strategies. People think trading is a one-size-fits-all market. It's not. We live trade and train daily. Let's talk trading.
EKSO, TBGC, BIVI, FIE.
Hello everyone, good morning.
FBYD.
How's it going? I hope you are all having a great week, and let's get started here. As always, I have here the chat room to my right, so if anyone would like to request any chart, any ETF, any ticker we would like to see for some analysis, please feel more than welcome and encouraged to do so. And I got some stock picks I would like to share today as well. But of course, we also we always have some time for doing some requests here. All right, so let's start here with the S&P 500 in the weekly time frame. Then I'm going to share a stock I actually bought yesterday. We're going to check its technicals, also its fundamentals, and it's looking at a great buying opportunity. And then we're going to leave some time for some requests. So don't forget to request some tickers there to the right. And
TAOX.
All right. So SPX here, looking
NPC, FBYD, HPK, TBRG, THIO, PHIO.
SPX here looks a bit dangerous, I would say. Last time we were 2 Fridays ago, we were looking at SPX. We were checking the possibility that this could have been a wave 1 in a new Indian wave cycle. Let's quickly here check what would be the reasons why there could be a potential drop maybe to the 6500s range. So usually on Indian wave cycles, wave 1 goes from, on the RSI, goes from oversold to overbought. Wave 2 goes from overbought RSI back into equilibrium. Wave 3 has the highest point on the RSI, wave 4 back into equilibrium, and we usually got the bearish divergence on wave 5. Then we had the 22 bear market. Again, we started our previous cycle around oversold. We had wave 1 right into overbought, wave 2 into equilibrium. Wave 3 on the
EPSN.
highest point on the RSI, wave 4 again into
FSLY.
equilibrium, wave 5 of course, the bearish divergence in the weekly time frame. Then we had the Liberation Day crash, and then we had a strong recovery, which of
Facts.
course it's a brand new bull market here for the
HPK.
SPX since the Liberation Day crash. Which day was that?
Lux.
Monday, April 7. The RSI indicator is
CHR.
still behaving like we are actually starting a new Elliott wave cycle.
ASLE.
We went from oversold into overbought on what
FIE.
appears to be a wave 1. Now, the trick here comes that wave 2 usually goes at least to the 0.236 Fibonacci retracement,
Lux.
but we did not retest at that level, right? When we actually crashed here, let me show where we did. So that
RHS.
0.2 was the
NPC.
6430 level for
SXTC.
SPX, and we actually did not retest that level.
TAOX. Chris.
So that made it a bit
HPK.
suspicious. Nasdaq and the Dow actually
AMPG.
did retested that level, so they could have already
KLXE.
went through a wave 2 correction, but for the SPX we're not seeing that. So
KRLD.
for the bull case, what kind of doesn't let me sleep a bit is that it does seem that we could be going here for a zigzag correction, a typical ABC move.
NCTC.
This would be the first drop.
USEG.
We go into a flat correction, and there could be the
AUYE.
possibility that we could retest the lower Bollinger Band on the weekly time frame,
FMST.
which is located at 65.90 basically. But I do think we could retest that 64.90 actually, which would be the
SXTC.
0.2 Fibonacci retracement. The RSI could still go a bit lower into equilibrium, and I would even if we still retest the around 6500 range, I think I would still be looking at this as a bull market in development. I think this would be a correction to buy the dip, and then I would be looking at more bullish continuation throughout the year. If we start breaking below 64.90, especially if we actually break lower than the 0.3, 0.3 would start looking a bit more dangerous at the 61.80 level for SPX. If we start breaking below the middle, the small pullback here for SPX, that is going to start looking much more dangerous. But I think I would still call this a bull market if we're able to. Now, if we start breaking above resistance, which is all-time highs at SPX 7000, that's going to look very bullish. It will look like we are not going into a potential correction here, and we would be breaking higher. What I don't like a bit also, it's this volume. Under this distribution, it does seem there was some selling pressure here. Even though the volume closed on the green candlestick, what we're seeing is that the next week we're actually rejecting. So I would say scenario, it's a bit mixed. I wouldn't say it's very, very clear, but I would say it is leaning towards we might go for a potential. Let's measure how much would that be. I think we could be going for a 7, 8, maybe 10% pullback. That would be already a technical correction if
SXTC.
a 10% drop, but I think we could be going into a 7, 8% pullback here in the markets, but I do think that would be a buying opportunity. And the reason I think it would be a buying opportunity is because there are many stocks presenting good buying opportunities as well. And let's go with currently my favorite pick to buy right now. And that one would be Service Now. We're going to check the chart and we're going to check its fundamentals too. Alright, Service Now, massive crash. Massive crash. I actually started my position somewhere around here, around 150, but I did increase a lot my position here, around $100. Before we get back into the technicals, I want to show the fundamentals. Apparently, these software stocks all going to get disrupted by AI. That's the current narrative going on the internet. That software stocks are going to get replaced by AI. But even though I personally, of course, don't think that, I want to show the fundamentals for now, why I do think it's a strong stock to buy, and why then we're getting back into the technicals, why, of course, the time to buy it apparently would be now. Alright, Service Now here in its fundamental indicators. from trading. First of all,
PSN.
how is revenue looking?
Wolf.
Revenue is amazing for the stock, amazing. We can see a steady growth here for revenue. This last earnings report, we had revenue increasing. This is very strong growth. So revenue is looking amazing here for the stock. Check it, compare it to the stock price. Let's see, the stock was trading after split levels, right? After split levels, the stock was average 240 basically on January 2025, alright? So when we were at 240 per share on January 2025, that's here, we had 2.95 billion in revenue. Now we're trading at basically 106, 100. We got 3.57 billion. That's a very big increase here in revenue, and the stock has dropped how much from all-time highs? It's crazy how much we dropped. We're down 60%. We're down 60% on this stock. And look at that revenue. So, of course, revenue is not the only important thing. Revenue could be increasing, but maybe the company was profitable and now it's not. If the operating margin and free cash flow is negative, we're going to check that. Now, growth. Growth is at 20%. Now, the trick with growth is that we don't actually see how if the line is going down or up. You could have had
here's what I think the lesson for the rest of the NFL should be.
100%, 150, which is
We obviously are chasing in the draft our version of Mahomes.
Your revenue,
Josh Allen, I know he has one.
The
guy
lower, but
could
what we want to measure is
legitimately be the best quarterback alive.
Come on, bro.
Let's not lie to ourselves if we ended up not getting that guy.
God, I hate when it does that, bruh.
Trying to prove he is that guy and be afraid to pick him. So, like, I think the Miami Dolphins
is getting more and more profitable. We can see the margins are increasing. So margins are increasing on the revenue that's also
instead of
increasing.
building out
And
the
then
rest
free
of their
cash flow.
team, they tried
Free
to
cash
build
flow,
out
we got it at 60
Alright.
to 56%. That's very, very positive free cash flow. Debt, how is debt looking? Negative debt. So they actually have more cash than they have more cash than debt, right? And with revenue increasing like this and operating margin profitable, they can actually sustain and they can reinvest into growth without having to go into a debt. So I would say this is a very good fundamentals for service now. It's a 110 billion market cap, and let's see now its valuation relative to its own price history. For that, we're going into the price to sales indicator. This is the cheapest the stock has been since when? Since 2026, we went 10 years down in valuation according to the price to sales ratio. This is the most oversold we have been for the stock on the price to sales ratio in a decade. It's amazing. I do think this is very good fundamental for the stock. So now that I would say this looks like a good, strong to buy, let's check the timing. We're going into the technicals. Basically, I was looking for these horizontal levels. We had a massive drop. Now we're trading, we're actually retesting an ascending structure, kind of like a rising wedge, even though it is expanding instead of contracting. We are retesting a support channel that goes all the way back to 2020. We already broke below the 200 weekly moving average, correct? Here our purple moving average. And also what I do like is the volume. This is record volume in how much? In 6 years. Correct, this is record volume in 6 years. The past 3 weeks, all record volume, record volume. I would understand that it's a capitulation move for the stock. I would understand this is massive panic selling. Of course it was, it was very difficult Actually, I understand what ServiceNow investors, the emotions they might have gone through. I actually started my position at 150. When I saw it go back to 100, and I was like, oh my god, no, this can't be. So I understand ServiceNow investors might be experiencing the same emotions through this, but I actually I bought this position yesterday. I increased my position a lot, I would say. I made my biggest buy for it here. I do think it's a very good spot, actually, to load this stock. We have big volume coming. Oh, and I was forgetting something else. Of course, insider activity, right? So, we got 88.41 shares held by institutions. Which institutions? Vanguard, BlackRock, and State Street. Vanguard owns 975, State Street 911. No, Vanguard 975, BlackRock 911, and State Street owns 4.52. Now, what are the insiders doing? Insiders are buying this. We got 2,100 purchases against 20,000 sales. This is a 10 to 1 insider buying. So you're telling me that a stock that has a 10 to 1 insider buy rate with revenue looking like this.
This year, we opened 2 new restaurants while running
and very possible.
5 other restaurants.
With this free cash flow,
We turned to Upwork. We found freelance pros to help with branding, digital menus, even AI tools to streamline operations. It was fast, affordable, and honestly a huge weight off our shoulders. From platforms like Upwork, we found some freelance creatives who absolutely nailed our logo. Let me show you. Look at our logo.
Let's go.
They also help with our menus.
Let's see.
They look amazing. What's really nice is that you only pay for
Yes, we had a question on what song we were talking about, and we are actually checking service now. I stay away from now for the time being. Well, of course it's a capitulation, it's a falling knife here, but I would say it's looking very, very strong here. If we don't have any requests here, I would also like to do a recap here on our chart. Yes, well, before we go into the Bitcoin cycle, yes, of course the safe trade would be to find a bit here some potential strength, some potential confirmation. It's still a falling knife. It would be buying a falling knife, but with the inside, with this record volume coming in here, I think this is the typical buy when there's blood in the streets. ServiceNow investors are panic selling the stock. And I would like to be on the contrarian position to that, which would be buying the stock. Now I would like to do a recap on our Bitcoin cycle chart. So we were discussing also a potential bottom soon for Bitcoin. First time I actually shared this chart for Bitcoin, we were trading at 75,000, around 80,000 for Bitcoin, and we dropped. All right, so here on the cycle, what we're seeing we already passed the middle. All right, we already passed the middle of the cycle, and this cycle has been valid since Bitcoin's creation. That doesn't mean it's going to remain valid for the rest of the history. It's always going to be there, and it's never going to get broken. No, the chart is just a chart, and a chart can get invalidated too, right? So when charts get invalidated, when they get broken, it's our duty to actually find what's going on, what would be the new setup, what tweaks, what adjustments we can do for our charts. But so far, the chart remains valid. It's a sideways tool here, adjusted to the RSI in the weekly time frame, and we can see how the cycle has been marking the buying opportunities on the previous Bitcoin cycle, and also kind of marking the tops. Now, for cycle analysis, kind of like the standard would be measuring from bottom to bottom, not from top to top. So we can see here our first, since Bitcoin's creation, right? Our first major crash, well, here we also had a crash, but with the momentum going down, was here. And Bitcoin crashed kind of like 80-90%. Here it marked the first bottom. We went again here in the rally. So usually what I found is that the top is usually a bit after we reached the highest point of the cycle. We can see the top here, but I'm not measuring top to top. I'm personally measuring bottom to bottom. So here we had the top, and again, we started right here. We can see as soon as the cycle started going lower, we started the bear market. We found out here we did bottom on the indicator a bit before. You also, of course, want to kind of find the average one that fits the best. Here we had the second buying opportunity. We went higher. As we mentioned, we kind of top a bit after. What I found is that we kind of top a bit after the midpoint. Then again, we started at another bottom. Here, yes, we did have a retest here with a crash, in the COVID crash.
EVTV, EVPR,
You can see that on the indicator still, that was quickly bought, and we resumed the bull market. We topped a bit after, and then we started again. Now here, the cycle bottom was here, but we actually made a lower low a few weeks after, still kind of on the lows from the cycle. So this is not actually meant to be to predict a specific date and week to buy Bitcoin. It's more an accumulation and distribution rate. Then we again have the bull market. Here we did top a bit after. Here we did top a bit after. But the point is, now we are back. Now we're back to what appears to be an accumulation range. I also wanted to share this one. I first shared it here before we actually kind of reached the mid, when we were at 75,000. And let's see, I would initially think this is a buying opportunity from Bitcoin. If we already went for a bottom, or if maybe we drop a bit more, of course this is not meant to predict the specific price and the specific date for Bitcoin to potentially bottom. But I do think we're trading here on the lows of the range, so we can see kind of how it behaves here. So here, for example, Bitcoin was at 18. Yeah, then it bottomed later at 15,000. So we could maybe bottom a bit here, maybe we could drop a bit more, but I would say kind of this upcoming weeks would be a great spot potentially to load up here on Bitcoin. Let's see also some other potential stocks. I wanted to also check Microsoft. What are we seeing for Microsoft? Where I have Microsoft, I have it right here.
ELTX.
Big crash for Microsoft. Let's end it up here. That's the thing.
This year the patch drew the NFC.
Many stocks are actually looking at buy a big,
This year they drew the AFC,
like buying opportunities. That is the reason I do think if we go for 8% pullback, maybe a 10% correction, kind of would look like a buying opportunity, especially with software stocks. Software stocks have got so oversold. I do think they're presenting very attractive levels for long-term positions. So for Microsoft, we got 3 weeks of big volume. This is the biggest volume since 2022. 3 weeks here. We're retesting an important support trend line, but I would say what's more important is the Fibonacci range here of 0.618 to 0.786. Usually waves 2 under Euler wave theory go either to the 0.2, 0.3, which is the small retracement, or to the big retracement, which would be the 0.6, 0.7. So I think I would still be looking at this as a potential wave 2. A potential wave 2 under a new Euler wave cycle.
AGIG.
That's not the color, it would be this one. For Microsoft, if we're able to hold the 380 level. Alright, if we start breaking below the 0.7, I would understand that that we could even breach the Liberation Day lows here at 350. I think we would be going lower in that case. But if Microsoft is able to hold here, it would be looking good. It's a falling knife, yes. So the safe trade would be actually if we recover above 430. If we are able to recover above 430, which would be the 0.6, I would understand we could have seen a bottom for Microsoft, especially with the volume we're seeing here. Also, let me check how is insider activity for Microsoft. I don't know this, alright, so I might be completely invalidated. Holders, we don't even need to see who are the major holders, of course. But what are the insiders doing for Microsoft here? 3 to 1. We got a 3 to 1 insider buy to sell ratio. We got 625,000 purchases against 200,000 purchases. This is a 3 to 1 insider buy for Microsoft stock on big volume, record volume since 2022. On the golden retracement, the golden buying opportunity, the 0.6, 0.7, I would say Microsoft would be a good buying opportunity here. Another one I wanted to actually, let's see here, if anyone would like to request any ticker, any ETF, I think we got time for 2 more. Now let's see which others might be looking good here. Let's also do an update on Marvel. I always signal Marvel as a potential buy. I've been signaling it as a potential buy basically since this crisis, since September. We have kind of been chopping around. I do still think this is a wave 2 correction for the stock, and of course a buying opportunity. We got a pennant pattern here forming. We got a pennant pattern forming on a support. Yes, we're bouncing from it. We got a contraction a bit on the weekly Bollinger Bands, and we're kind of holding. We had a breakdown, but we managed to close strongly last week on what appears to be a bit of a liquidity catch. What I like for Marvel is the volume, not only on 1, 2 candlesticks, all the volume going on here. It's looking very strong. I do think we're going for a brand new Elliott wave cycle. Let me also check here insider activity for Marvel. Let's see if it still remains strong.
Atom. INR.
Okay. My God, I'm more bullish now on Marvel. This was not like that the last time I saw it.
Tello.
Oh my God. Maybe I'm going to have to sell the position and increase Marvel here. We got 500,000 purchases against 6,000 sales. I don't even know what's the insider buy to sell ratio on this. We got 530,000 purchases against 600,000 sales. My God, I thought I couldn't get more bullish on this stock, but it appears I can. Let's check its earnings. Let's check the fundamentals for the stock. Where is it? All right, I haven't seen in a while. Oh my God, yes, this is what I want to see. Of course, revenue still looking strongly. Growth 36. That's very strong, 36 growth.
HYPT.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, of course, of course. Operating margin even coming better.
Love.
Free cash flow 24.
IONL. TRA.
They got 2 billion in debt, yes. But what's the trick with debt? It's not if they have debt or not. It's how much is the debt relative to their earnings. So they got 2 billion in debt, right?
VIVS.
Ooh, well, 2 billion in revenue, that's 1 to 1. I wouldn't say this is dangerous. For example, like with Oracle, that I think it had like 10 times more debt than they have revenue. I was this is the only thing I didn't like, all right? I would like to see their debt much lower than their revenue. I have to be objective here, but it kind of seems they are starting to pay it off. This is the only thing I don't like, is that kind of it's equal. Their revenue, all right? That's the only thing. Now their price to sales ratio is at 8. That's very low. But yes, I think here that
FTK.
I would call it a buy, and we're going to check here. Apps, of course. Let's check APP. I think we got time for that one.
VHIO.
My God, where is it?
SBSW.
I've increased my watch list now. Stocks get lost. Here it is. Okay, what is the last thing I have?
LPRX.
Okay, my Euler wave cycle. I think my Euler wave cycle was incorrect. I had two possibilities of this being a wave 4, but we're breaching below. No, I'm sorry. We're breaching below the
CETX.
1, so that would be invalidated. This count is invalid. I would have to check again my Euler wave cycle, but now it does appear this was actually the wave 5. So wave 1 was somewhere around here. I would have to go to the logarithmic. This was wave 3. This was wave 4. This was wave 5. And the reason I think this was wave 5, besides the super
CLW,
is because as usually, remember what we said? So the Euler wave cycle would look like this. From oversold into overbought. Then we go for wave 2 into equilibrium. Wave 3 has the highest point on the RSI indicator. Wave 4 into equilibrium, and wave 5 has the bearish divergence. I would have to adjust this into price action. This I have to go into the logarithmic. Yeah, but if this is ending here in Euler wave cycle, I think of course it would be starting another one. I would have to check my technical model here. Let me check insider activity for the stock. All right, 1 second. Let me check insider activity, and then we can do yes, PINS. Let's see. I don't know what we're going to see here on insider activity. Vanguard, BlackRock. Okay. Top holders, insider transactions. No, we got more sales. There's purchases. Okay. But we got basically 1.4 million sales against 1.2 million purchases. That's not strong buy. That's not strong buy. Let me check their fundamentals, and then we're going for the final request. Where is this stock?
CLW.
Well, it's revenue. It's good. It would look like a technical correction. Growth at 20 is good too. Oh. Operating margin at 60, 76. That is strong. That is strong.
PHIX.
Free cash. Oh, numbers are great. Numbers are great for the stock. No debt here. Well, 1 billion. Fundamentals are strong. Are strong. I think this is a technical correction. I think it's a technical correction. We still kind of got like a double top here. So from that perspective, I can have it for the next one, all right? Let me refresh my Euler wave structure here. My previous one got invalidated. A chart is just a chart. You kind of have to model it and check it and update. I would say I would like to see where we could start a new Euler wave cycle. RSI on the weekly, MACD going lower here.
CRSR.
I would say
CRSR.
Close to a cycle. But I would like to give it some time, and let's check the final one.
VIVS.
Here, Pinterest.
OTLY.
So, initially, alright, initially, this looks like...
VIVI.
Could this be a stage 1 accumulation? I would like to see their revenue, alright?
MCS.
And insider activity, we're going here quickly. There is some volume behind this capitulation, but I wouldn't say this is that strong. All right. Let me check here first their numbers. Okay. Well, revenue it's increasing. At least the company. It's not decreasing. Sales growth it's at 16. I wouldn't say it's that bad.
XAIR, HIMS, ACRR.
Operating margin at 5, not ideal.
TVRG.
Free cash flow, they got it at 30. They don't got debt, at least. So I wouldn't say it's the best fundamentals we have seen. They would have to work on it. They do definitely need better numbers if they want to recover. investor confidence, but this is how we're going to determine if this could be a stage 1 or not. Alright? If this is a stage 1, insiders should be buying. And I don't know what we're going to see here. But if this is a stage 1, insiders should be buying. First, who are all the major holders?
PHIO.
The same as always?
Onic.
Yes.
PHIO.
BlackRock with
PHIO.
11, Vanguard with 10. Then we got Iliad Investment Management, then we got Price, State Street with 2. Okay. Insider transaction. Let's see, surprise, surprise.
AP.
Aha. Alright. Now they got a point. They got 1.8 million insider purchases last 6 months.
FSLY.
Again,
CGTL, FGL.
800,000 insider sales. This is how much?
GNPX.
A 2 to 1. A bit more than 2 to 1. Oh yeah, actually it's 850, so that would be 1.7 million. So yeah, it's basically a 2 to 1 insider buy. Look, it's not the best inside. It's not the strongest insider buy sell we have seen. Remember, we saw a 10 to 1 insider buy to sell for now. We saw 500,000 against basically 6,000 for Marvel. I don't even know what's the insider buy to sell for Marvel. For Microsoft, we saw it 3 to 1. All right, we're seeing 2 to 1 for Pinterest. I would say at least it's a point for the Bulls. It is a point for the Bulls. If you believe on the stock, if you like the company, if you know the product, I don't know it. I haven't been following their products. I don't know their market share. So I don't know the company and its products. But if you believe on it, if you have been following it, and you do think it's a good long-term position, I would say it would be here. It's basically how long? It's almost record lows. Almost record lows. Their fundamentals, I wouldn't say they're shrinking. Still, I would prefer to see something much more stronger. But insiders are buying here, so Pinterest Bulls will have that in their favor. So yes, that will be all for today. I would like to thank you, everyone. We can check the others on the upcoming sessions. I'm sorry we already ran out of time. Thank you everyone for your participation. Really appreciate that. Thank you for your interest. I hope this was a nice session. At first I was only presenting service now, which is a strong buy, but now I know I sound like a broken with Marvel, but it's one of my strongest positions, one of my biggest positions. I did and saw that insider buy. I hadn't done an update like in a couple of weeks. So I would say now basically it's service now, it's Marvel. For Bitcoin, we do need to see if we start recovering here. If we start recovering here, as crazy as it might sound, I think we could be about to see another crypto bull market. So let's see. Of course, a chart is just a chart. Charts can get invalidated, can get broken. Things can happen in the world that can easily break a chart in a second or two. So of course, we have to remain updated. We have to update always our charts and see if the strategies are valid or if they get invalidated and we have to flip sides. I would say ServiceNow and Marvel are looking very strong. I wanted to share those. I hope this was a nice session. Thank you everyone and see you. Also thank you to Ryan and all the team for inviting us here. If you would like to see a bit more of our work, you can visit our website tradingmadesimple.org. And thank you everyone. I hope we all have a great weekend. Goodbye. Thanks.
CRSR.
Riley.
CRSR.
DHL. Austin. HYPT SDGN. Lexi.
Good afternoon, and welcome to the Coinbase fourth quarter and full year 2025 earnings call. My name is Anil Gupta, and I'm Vice President of Investor Relations at Coinbase.
CLPT.
Joining me on today's call are Brian Armstrong, Co-founder and CEO, Emily Choi, President and COO,
MPC.
Alicia Haas, CFO, and Paul Graywall, Chief Legal Officer.
DBGI.
During today's call, we may make forward-looking statements which may vary materially from actual results. Information concerning risks, uncertainties, and other factors that could cause these results to differ is included in our SEC filings. Our discussion today will also include certain non-GAAP financial measures. Reconciliations to the most directly comparable GAAP financial measures are provided in the shareholder letter on our investor relations website. Non-GAAP financial measures should be considered in addition to, not as a substitute for, GAAP measures. We'll start today's call with comments from Brian and Alicia and then take questions. With that, I'll turn it over to Brian.
Prices, but Bitcoin remains the best performing asset class of the past decade. We've been through cycles like this many times at Coinbase, and adoption continues to grow. Regulatory priorities on the horizon, and I'm more bullish than ever. Moreover, we've successfully diversified business where stablecoins, subscription and services revenue, and now trading of other asset classes like stocks, prediction markets, and commodities means our revenue is less correlated to crypto price fluctuations. We launched the Everything Exchange in Q4 and are seeing early signs of success. Global trading volume and market share doubled year over year, reaching new all-time highs. Just last week, as crypto prices fell, gold and silver futures drove record notional volume on our exchange. We hit our highest 24-hour trading volume in over a year, in fact. And Base set a new transaction all-time high with AI agents adopting stablecoin wallets. Base is quickly establishing itself as the on-chain home for AI. So looking ahead, our strong balance sheet and progress on the Everything Exchange gives us the ability to continue investing in these market conditions. We'll keep buying Bitcoin, we'll continue to buy our stock back, and we won't stop building. Now I want to talk about how we're going to win in 2026. Financial services is a massive industry, and there's multiple trillions of dollars of revenue up for grabs. Crypto is updating the financial system, from trading to payments to lending. And Coinbase is the best positioned company in the world to capitalize on this transformation. Here are 4 reasons why. Number 1, we store more crypto than any other company. We're the most trusted brand in crypto, and we work with thousands of institutions, 5 G2 banks, and 150 government agencies. Just as one example, we store 12% of all crypto in the world, more than the next 4 competitors combined. Assets on platform has grown about 3x over the past 3 years. And these assets are very sticky as we connect more products into them. So that's the first reason. Number 2, we've doubled our trading volume and market share year over year. We started off as the leader in the US, and now as regulatory clarity has emerged around the world, we're growing our share internationally as well. Number 3, we've diversified our revenue streams so that it's not just trading specific. We now have 12 products doing over 100 million in annualized revenue. Subscription and services revenue hit all-time highs, up 5.5x from the peak in 2021, and we generated positive adjusted EBITDA in any market condition, and consistently profitable on the adjusted EBITDA and adjusted net income basis over the last 2 years. And finally, number 4, we have deep crypto expertise at Coinbase. This manifests in the unique products that we've been able to offer. So, for example, we were early to offer DEX trading, which now allows us to have millions of crypto assets available to trade. We were early on DeFi, borrow lend. We were early on building out the Base chain. We've even migrated to our multi-party computation cold storage system, the next generation of it, which has allowed us to accelerate the speed at which customers can complete transactions. So this deep crypto expertise really is one of our core strengths. So for these reasons, we're best positioned to win this transformation as more and more financial services are updated by crypto, this big secular trend. Now in 2026, we have 3 top priorities that we're focused on, and I'll quickly run through those. So the first one is to grow the Everything Exchange. In Q2 last year, we introduced our Everything Exchange vision, which is one platform for all tradable assets, whether that's crypto, equities, prediction markets, commodities, and more. Our thesis here is simple. For customers, the ideal experience is to have access to every investment and trading product that they want in one trusted place, wherever their assets reside. Stocks and prediction markets are natural extensions of our core business, providing a clear path to increasing product stickiness and revenue generation. And it's working. Early feedback from our customers is very positive, and we see a number of users crossing over to trade commodities and equities alongside their crypto. We hit all-time highs in derivatives volume and revenue in Q4. A few weeks ago, we rolled out prediction markets to 100% of our customers. Soon, we'll add more markets and a dedicated sports hub for prediction markets. Equities have rolled out. We'll have almost 10,000 tickers live this month. And in Q4, we even acquired Echo to enable more efficient on-chain capital formation. This can offer unique investment products to our customers on our everyday exchange from the private market. We're working on shipping tokenized equities, which will be a major positive change to the financial system. And with the crypto-forward leadership of the SEC, we believe there's a path to get there. We'll also be expanding the everything exchange to more countries around the world. So that's our number one priority in 2026 is growing the everything exchange. Our second priority is that we're scaling stablecoins and payments. Stablecoins are the second killer app in crypto, and most are still underestimating the potential of a digital dollar. CGTL. We hit an all-time high in USDC stored in Coinbase products, which helped USDC reach an all-time high market cap of about $75 billion. In 2026, we're focused on expanding stablecoin utility with deeper product integrations, scaling out our payments infrastructure in Coinbase Developer Platform and Coinbase Business. We're even protecting the ability to pay rewards to customers using stablecoins to ensure customers can benefit from this and that regulated U.S. stablecoins remain competitive with offshore or unregulated offerings. If you were designing money from scratch today, you get crypto and stablecoins where you can transfer funds anywhere in the world in under a second for less than a cent. With the unrivaled efficiency gains, all signs point to stablecoins continuing to grow. We're even seeing these AI agents adopt stablecoins for payment, and I believe that stablecoins will be the default payment method for AI agents. Okay, so that's our second priority, stablecoins and payments. Our third and final priority in 2026 timeframe is to bring the world on-chain. Now, on-chain is a key part of our business strategy and our mission, and this is the broad term that we use for DeFi, self-custodial wallets, and the adoption of decentralized technology as opposed to centralized intermediaries. We're seeing growing adoption of self-custodial wallets around the world, which let people store their funds, and instead of trusting a third party, with just a smartphone and an internet connection, anyone can get access to more financial services, improve financial services, and participate in the global economy. We have a winning on-chain strategy, and in 2026, you'll see more DeFi integrations in the Coinbase app. You'll see scaled adoption of the Base app with its new focus on trading. We'll continue to increase transaction volume on the Base chain, and all of the above will increase the percentage of on-chain activity powered by Coinbase infrastructure. So, in closing, as crypto continues to update the financial system, Coinbase is the best positioned company to capitalize on this transition and bring more economic freedom to the world. Now I'll turn it over to Alicia.
NP. Thanks, Brian. Good afternoon, everyone. 2025 was a strong year for Coinbase, both operationally, as Brian just highlighted, and financially. We executed consistently against our goals. We delivered or outperformed our revenue and expense guidance that we provided every quarter. Our 2025 total revenue was $7.2 billion, a 9% year-over-year increase. Subscription and services revenue reached $2.8 billion, up 23% year-over-year, and more than 5.5 times higher than the prior cycle in 2021. As Brian noted, we are pleased to see the growth of the number of products generating $100 million of annualized revenue. And equally, if not more pleased, to see many of these products scale. And we are working hard to see more products join the $250 million, $500 million, and $1 billion annualized revenue club. Turning to our Q4 results. I'm going to start with some highlights. We did have quarter-over-quarter softer market conditions. Crypto market cap was down 11% quarter-over-quarter. However, we outperformed the market on total trading volume, driven by strong derivatives volume growth. Deribit saw another all-time high quarter. Q4 marked our 9th consecutive quarter of native unit inflows. This is inflows to our assets on platform, where customers then in turn stake, pay custody, They engage in USDC, so we're seeing growth in native units despite the price headwinds. It was our 12th consecutive quarter of adjusted EBITDA profitability. We are a business that is prepared for volatility. We have diversified over the last 4 years. Our transaction revenue is diversified and will continue as we execute against the Everything Exchange. As we mentioned, we have 12 products with over $100 million of annualized revenue, and we are scaling them. Half of those are over $250 million. As we enter the first quarter and see even more volatility, what we are pleased to see is that our retail customers are hodling like they always have, but those who are in the market, they are buying the dip. Every week we've seen net buying versus selling on our platform as we've entered this year. And as Brian mentioned, Coinbase is buying the dip. We've deployed $1.7 billion to repurchase shares. We've fully offset our 2025 dilution from stock-based compensation. And we're buying Bitcoin. So let's dive into the details. Q4 total revenue was $1.8 billion, down 5% quarter over quarter. Q4 transaction revenue was $983 million, down 6% quarter over quarter. While subscription and services revenue was $727 million, down 3% quarter over quarter. Turning to expenses, total operating expenses were $1.5 billion, up 9% quarter over quarter, and in line with our outlook. Technology and development, general and administrative, and sales and marketing expenses collectively increased 14% quarter over quarter, primarily driven by costs associated with the recently closed acquisitions of Deribit and Echo, and higher USDC rewards, reflecting the record USDC balances held in Coinbase products. When you exclude deal-related costs associated with our M&A activity in 2025, tech and dev, G&A plus sales and marketing would have increased 11% on a quarter-over-quarter basis. We ended the year with 4,951 full-time employees, up 3% quarter over quarter, as we continue to invest in product team development, customer support, and compliance infrastructure. Adjusted EBITDA in the fourth quarter was $566 million, and adjusted net income was $178 million. On a GAAP basis, we reported a net loss of $667 million, primarily driven by a $718 million unrealized loss on our crypto investment portfolio and a $395 million loss on strategic investments, which includes our investment in Silk.
Alright, chat. I'll be back later, man. We're gonna be back with the gaming vibes. It's Friday. Gaming chill vibes. Videos, reaction videos, whatever.